Good morning. How are we all doing? How are you on this fine Wednesday night stroke Thursday evening? Hello, Peter. Hello, Philip. Your mail. Good morning. Sean James. Hello, everyone, and greetings from Omaha, Nebraska. How's everyone doing today? We're grooving. Good evening, Curtis. This is a pick-me-up Mars bar. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? Am I coming through all right? Does my voice sound as lovely and crispy as it normally does? We have a new microphone, you see. And I was 100% anticipating that it wouldn't work. No, it's just a Boggo. It's just a Boggo Mars bar. I think it starts in about an hour's time. Excellent. Excellent. I snapped up a road deal. It was too good to pass up. And I was like, it's time to upgrade the stream, you know? So everybody can hear my lovely tones. Now, I very nearly didn't make it in time for the stream, guys. Because I've done something terrible to my leg. Something really awful to it. I've been in near constant pain for the last sort of 4 or 5 days. So I went down the stairs at 12:30 to have a wee, and it took me half an hour to get back up the stairs. Now it's fine. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. I'm going to go and get it checked tomorrow. It's all good. But, yeah, I was like, I must make it. I will ascend to the streaming room. Considering that I have 28 months clean and sober, I cannot complain. Congratulations, Sean, on 28 months. That's a monumental achievement. Well done, buddy. You should do more than not complain. You should shout from the rooftops. That is an achievement. Turn that down in my ears a little bit. Exactly. I felt like the hobbits ascending Minas, the road, the pass through Kirith Ungol. I guess you'll be turning into Malkador the Sigillite soon. Yeah. I might just get it chopped off and have a prosthetic put in place. Then I could get a paintbrush attachment for it, and I could double my output, right? That's how that works. But yeah, so if at any point I go, it's because I've moved awkwardly on my leg. I wanted to ask, by the way, will you be doing more grunters when it released? Would love to see you paint some more Auric stuff like Gore Grunters. Do you know what, Curtis? I will, just for you. When does it start? I think it starts in about an hour. I'm going to check it in about 15 minutes time. But I thought I would go live about an hour before, so that I can chat to all of you. We can all get excited. We can all make predictions. We can all think, hey, what's coming? We can all like the stream. So then more people will come and watch this with us. Press 1 in the chat if you agree. Press 2 in the chat if you don't agree. And like the stream if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Sorry, that's the YouTuber in me. I have to be a YouTuber. That's the thing. So I should say, hey guys, become a membership. Become a member now. Help us achieve that 300 member goal. And if I was on Twitch, what I would say was get your Twitch Primes out. But we don't have Twitch Primes here. We just have YouTube memberships. What's the fourth option? Just be like a super chill dude and just like tell me what you think we're gonna see this evening. Because they've already stated that we're going to be seeing some Aurochs, right? Because we've seen that one. We've seen the big boss or something. Is that what it's called? And I suspect there will be more on the way. 40k wise, the next codex is going to be Space Marines. Because Tyranids is already well on the way. So I suspect we're going to see a lot of Space Marines tonight. And we saw a Horus Heresy image, I think yesterday, which looked like there might be some Dreadnoughts on the way, based on the picture of the feet that were in the background. Warhammer Quest, I hope. Yeah, I've heard this rumor. Mr. Hipster, you should paint some Lumineth Wind Spirits. I have one to do, Carlos, and I will do it eventually. I'm anticipating some time for me to get through things like that at the sort of 3rd or 4th week of September. So I've got a few more like commission-y bits to clear, and at the moment I don't have anything scheduled for then. At the moment I'm fully scheduled out for videos, potentially one every day until the 24th of September. I think it starts in 50 minutes, Brother Wesley. Let me check. Let's go and have a quick look, shall we? I keep going to Twitch and it's just playing adverts. It's playing the same advert over and over again. Add one of two. I'll show you. So, let's see what Warhammer community has to say, because they have 19 minutes apparently. 19 minutes it apparently starts. There you go. I was wrong. Moonless Night, Mr. Warhipster, are you going to paint the old world minis when they release? I was chatting to your friend and mine, Adam, last night, and I think there is a universe where I abandon 40k entirely in favor of doing nothing but old world. So if that helps answer your question, then good. Yeah, no, I'm being calmer about old world, but I'll start getting annoyed if it's not here by October. I'm just calmly waiting patiently for them to say, "Hey guys, old world, it's coming on Saturday. Thank us later." Adam is summoned. Adam, your name's not green anymore. Oh my goodness. They won't start previews until the hour. Well, we'll see what happens at past. We'll load it up at past. But guys, seriously, come on, hit me with some... Have you seen the latest Space Marine 2 trailer released today? Looks amazing. Ryan. Yes. I signed up for the beta earlier. I'm waiting to get an email back from them saying, hey man, we want you to test this. And I'm also waiting for Focus to be like, do you know what? Of all the people in all the world, Mr. the Warhipster, we've decided that it's going to be you we're going to give the game to early. Because you're a good dude and you've earned this. And we would like you to stream it on the channel for all nearly 50,000 of your subscribers. So that they can be like, yo, this dude's got it. Do you think Old World would have another Archaon and other hero models that would work with AOS, or are they going to be completely separate? I think they're going to be mostly entirely separate. I think you will see some stuff that can cross over here and there, like the odd thing like some new dispossessed type things, but because they're going to be packed with square bases, I don't think that they're going to be shipping the boxes with round and square because you might want to use it in AOS. As for things like Archaon, Old World is not set during a time when Archaon is on his way yet. So they're reopening the Old World at the time of the Three Emperors, which is way before the Great War with Chaos even begins. It's about to begin. It's not far away, but we're basically joining the game shortly before I think Magnus the Pious is born, or he's about to start rising to power. If you've played the game Chaos Bane, that's where we're being set just before then. Hey Abdul Al-Hazed. I messed up your surname. I'm so sorry. Hey Abdul, how are you doing? What is Skaven? Skaven are basically rat men, but there's so much more to them than that. They are one of the most iconic Warhammer races, I think, particularly in terms of fantasy and old world stuff. For me, it's between Seraphon, as in lizard men, because the way Games Workshop does lizard men is so different to everyone else. Like, if you think of like the closest possible things in fantasy, you have things like, I guess, like Dragonborn and the Khajiit. Is it the Khajiit in the Elder Scrolls? They might be the cat people, can't remember. But Seraphon are just so uniquely, the way that they do them, it's definitely theirs. Skaven are the same thing. They're very, very uniquely Warhammer. Even though the concept of rat men isn't uniquely Warhammer, Skaven are so Warhammer. They basically represent it just as much as War and Hammers do, and Games Workshops do. So there's plenty of stuff to come. Curtis, I love the old Archaon on horse, and there's no reason why there won't be an Archaon on horse model to come. But I think you'll be looking at sort of maybe 5-6 years down the line as they advance the story in the old world. I did like painting the new Seraphon, Carlos. I enjoyed it very much. There's a couple of bits I've got left to finish, like the Agrodon Lancers and the Spawn of Chotek, and Raptidon Chargers? I think I did Hunters. What, the other one of them that I haven't done. And I've also got, I need to pick up another set of 10 Saurus Warriors so that I can do a Starborn scheme, because I know a bunch of people were asking for that. I might pick up the Vanguard set when I've got a bit of money and a bit of time. Argonian, there we go. You're playing a game called Soul Land Reloaded. That sounds interesting. I'm really vibing on this beat. This is how we keep ourselves awake, guys. I say this, I'm normally up at this time painting. I was up at this time, I was up till 5 o'clock last night. Because I was building lots of miniatures. And then today I painted, for you Cities of Sigmar fans, I have painted a Greywater Fastness steel helm. So this video should drop on Friday. And I'm currently working on a Living City one as well. So that'll be 3 out of the 11. They might come a little bit slower than you might normally anticipate, because next week's going to be busy. And the week after that's going to be busy as well. Are you going to show the stream on the screen, or do we have it on a different tab? I will have it on the screen, Ultra. But you can also have it open yourself if you wish. You don't have to watch me. You can just listen to me. But you will miss out on me going on my squeals of delight if you're not watching the stream. Dwarfs in Elder Scrolls are extinct underground elves. Yeah, there aren't dwarves in there, is there? I'm in bed watching this. Work in the morning will be fun. Well, Adam. It's so nice for all of us to join you in bed. Should we see if... should we have a quick... I'm just going to have a quick look at the old Twitchingtons. Just to see what's going on. No, nothing's going on yet. It does say it's going to start in 10 minutes. If you don't believe me... As you can tell, I'm not in bed. I am at my desk. So please do leave a like on the stream. Oh, ow, 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 ow. As previously mentioned, my leg is a problem. Oh. Got a question about painting black for my Dark Angel Successor chapter. Would putting a dark green base and then Black Templar be a good idea? I'm not sure about using Black Legion, as is for suits. Yeah, I mean, if you check out... Oh. If you check out, in fact, I've got a video. Hang on, I have a video all about this. What is it? Black armor. Do.
Febreze bathroom.
Yeah, okay, Febreze. That's nice. Fate. If you check out that video, I do a dark green one in that. Black Templar over any color is how I used to get really good dark black colors, and it's really good for, because it's very transparent, because it's not technically black, it's very dark gray. When you use Black Templar over a color, you still retain some of that color underneath, which is why, you know, you see things like where I used to do like a Leviathan blue or Ultramarines blue, followed by Black Templar, in order to keep that kind of, you know, how they always seem to give armor, like Death Watch, for example, they give them a blue highlight. It's how you retain some of that. Black Legion is way more oppressive as a paint, which means it's much easier to get black if you're just going for a straight up black color. But yeah, Black Templar over Dark Angels Green should work absolutely no problems. Good night, Sean. Thank you for joining us. I hope you sleep well. Which is your favourite colour scheme for the new Cities of Sigmar? Let's consult the Tome of Power, shall we? I really like Hammerhall Aksha. Because when I was looking at the pictures really closely, I was looking at, like, a lot of them have this kind of very martial feel, and like they're all painted in the same colour. But when you look at like Hammerhall Aksha, all the steel helms have just got like different colours on their tunics and things like that, which makes them feel more like a militia. Which is why I really liked it. Which is why I did that in the video. So there's like five different cloth colour schemes in that one. As for just like generic ones, generally you can kind of get away with whatever you want on the clothes, as long as it kind of makes sense for the realm that they're in. So like Hammerhall Gyra, you can still have the oranges and the yellows and the bones and the reds and all that kind of thing, but incorporate a little bit of green in there and you've got Hammerhall Gyra basically. I think the Lethis one is really nice. The Grey Water Fastness one is really nice. Settler's Gain is a really, really nice colour scheme as well. And I think the Excelsis one is one that can look really nice. I think it would look kind of like, it would look quite haunting on the battlefield to see a large Excelsis army. Especially, you know, for fans of the Knights Excelsior. Really will go with them very well. But yeah, Lethis, Aksha, Greywater Fastness, Settler's Gain, I think those would be my top of them all. Charlie Irving, watching you on a night shift equals bliss. Hey, this is my night shift. Hey Warhipster, are you going to do any more Daughters of Cain painting tutorials? Also, thank you for all the videos you post. I really like them. Richie, I have been thinking about doing some Daughters of Cain. I've got some Kinnerai Life Takers to do in my pile of potential. Because between them, the Witch Elves, and some of the Melisai, you've then got the entire range done. There's the Doomfire Warlocks, I guess, but, you know, they're just black horses with Witch Elves on the back. Do you know what I mean? So it is in my videos I would like to do type of thing. It's just often with these things, it's one of those things where it's like, it's better to do it when you're close to the battle time. And if you don't get it done during the battle time, if you release it at any other time, no one's really looking for those painting tutorials. Is that a fell beast back there? Where are you seeing a fell beast? Up here? This is a Stormdrake Guard. Any suggestions on not liking a paint job after it's all painted up? Yeah. Unfortunately, I think if you don't like something once you've finished it, it's better to not just kind of strip it and start again. It's better to move on. Unless it's, you know, Archaon, for example, in which case try and edit it, I guess. But I would always see such a thing as an opportunity for learning, basically. Is a case of, okay, I know that didn't work for me, so I'm not going to move on from that. I'm going to move on from that, if you see what I mean. Show your pile of shame. Sounds big. See this cupboard? It's full of shame. It's also full of stuff that's on an NDA, so I can't tell you about it. There's another cupboard background here, which is also full of stuff to do. The cabinet looks quite empty because all the demons are out in the shed from when I filmed my Grand Army of Chaos. As it stands right now on my desk before me, there's the Varangard, there's the Torments to do, there's 10 Steel Helms. For some reason the Screamer Killer is here. I don't know why he's here. He's done. I think I was measuring the base. I always wanted to ask you a painting question. When you relayer non-contrast colours over contrast colours, it seems to me contrast only works as recess shades. You do that to Imperial Fist / Ultramarines. What's your question, Abdul? Why do I do it? So I do it. So here's a little insight into how the how it works here. I paint my models up to, generally what I do is I paint them up to battle ready standards so that you could follow my video up to the halfway point and go, there we go, I've finished my model and I'm happy with it and it looks great. Then when I start doing like relayering and stuff, it's because we're taking it to that next level. So we're taking it to that next level because we're punching up the color and we're smoothing out colors and we want to kind of change the tone of it just slightly. Because contrast paints are amazing and they're the best thing ever, and it's, you know, what I base my entire life around. But with Imperial Fist, for example, if you want to relayer it to just punch that color just that little bit up so it gets a crispness that contrast sometimes doesn't have, then that's why I do it. It's an entirely optional stage usually. You don't have to do it. You could just go straight to the highlights. But often on Space Marines, it's because Space Marines are one of those things where it's like, it's easy to get that coffee staining on it. So if I do a corrective layer, it's to smooth it out with retaining that property of the contrast layer. So the glaze that I did in the most recent, in the Imperial Fist Champion, for example, is the closest it gets to Imperial Fist shaded with Cassandora yellow, I think I did. I've tried isopropyl, and it works great. How far in advance do you receive NDA stuff? Weeks or months? Weeks, generally. Do you have Cantor yet? No, he's not turned up. No, hang on, I thought he did. Who's that? No, I don't think he's turned up yet. Hello, Warhipster. Can I repeat a question from one of my comments under your videos? Of course you can. Of course you can. Should we see if the stream started? It's 1:30. MTB Marek QX. Does that answer your question? Yes, there's going to be a Living City video. How are the Shatterpoint models? Yeah, they're alright. I haven't done very much. I haven't painted them yet. I've been super busy with Cities of Sigmar. I might do another building of them stream. Very soon. It's started. Has it actually started? I'm watching ads again. I am paying Warhammer so much ad revenue right now. Now live. No, you're not. I'm on Twitch. I've just got the stream from the US Open Tacoma 2023 playing. Well. Would love a Nighthaunt Infantry tutorial. Squiggy Ben, you and me both. I got a couple of Nighthaunt bits. There will be some stuff that absolutely will be transferable. I've got a couple of the Underworld Wardbounds, for example, to do. Will it be Gut Ripper Flesh? You've rumbled me, Marek. Yes. Gut Ripper Flesh and Creed Camo. And I've also used Athonian Camo Shade on the wood. And I've also used Baletan Green on all of the cloth. How do you rattle can base coat your models so smoothly? I always have to go over with brushes to get in all the corners. Basically what I do is I put my models on a, this is a lighter, I put my models on one of the Games Workshop spray sticks, right? I would run down and get the spray stick to show this more accurately, but my leg's screwed. I'll use this because it's bigger. So what I do is I put my models on the spray stick and I spray like this. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that's the whole of the front done. Then I'll turn it directly to the side like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it on the angle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then over the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do it per model rather than have the 5 models on here. I will have 5 models on there, but I'll have 5 models on here. And I'll spray each one like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. But do all of them at the same angle. I painted my Leviathan Space Marines using your videos. Thanks, from Canada. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. I've been loving the streams. The time zone sucks, though. Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. If I could stream all day, I would. But then I would never get anything filmed. And then there wouldn't be any tutorials, and everyone would be very sad about that. Kareem, any place where we can see you playing with your fabulous models on the tabletop. So there's a couple of battle reports here on the channel, but I've done 3 or 4 now over at Tabletop Tactics. So you can go out and check them out. A couple of them are on demand, and a couple of them are on Freeview. But yeah, Tabletop Tactics. I also did a battle report on Winter's SEO, which you can find on his channel as well. And battle report content is something that is on the long-term plan. But in order for me to get to my long-term plan, I have to make a lot more money and move house. Texas Wargaming. Sadly, I won't be able to partake in the Tale of Many Warhipsters for a while. Just started my practicum for my Masters. No live till December. Well, Texas Wargaming. Tale of Many Warhipsters absolutely can wait. It'll still be going. So when you're back, having crushed your Masters, your practicum for your Masters, you'll be here. We'll still be going. Shout out to using Bile Red plus Blood Angels Red as a wash for BA. Really gives a good colour. Michael Davis, you are welcome. Thank you for the shout out. It's one of my favourite recipes. I think it's my favourite Blood Angels recipe, and I don't think I'll change it now. Unless they come out with a new red that's even more perfect. You don't even know how happy you make me by choosing those colours. Can't wait to see the video. And in +/-1 week, I should get my COS box, so I will be ready. Thanks. You are welcome, Marek. I'm glad I could make you happy. Hello, just wanted to say thank you for helping me paint my 6 Mega Gargants and 12 babies with your King Brod How to Paint video. You're the best. Oh, thanks, Blaine. You're the best. For your comment. Thank you. Hello, Crashing Atom. Hey, I love your style of painting, but I do have a quick question. What is the main difference between Contrast Medium and Larmium Medium? Seized Fawn. Great name. Contrast Medium is basically contrast paint without any colour in it. So it still has the heavier pigment and the lighter pigment in it. So when you add it to contrast paints, the heavy pigment in contrast medium thins down the heavy paint in contrast paint, and the same for the lighter pigment. Larmium medium is just a single pigment, right? So contrast medium will thin down a contrast paint, but it'll keep more of those contrast paint properties, whereas Larmium medium, what we'll do is we'll still thin it down, but it doesn't specifically thin down both pigments, so it will make it runnier, which is somewhat easier to use, but it will weaken that contrasting effect because it starts to blend the pigments together. Trent Hoff, you could probably do a 5-minute video on spray can tutorial. Yeah, I've been thinking about it, Trent. I did cover it briefly in my Parasite of Mortrex review video. I've been thinking about doing a just how I spray miniatures video. Yeah, it's on the list. Brady Grabowski, thank you for all the many painting tips on your channel. In less than a year of basically only watching you, I've gone from my first model to taking commissions at my local gaming store. Brady, that's awesome. Congratulations. Well done, you. In 1 year, that's great. Fantastic work. You should be proud. No way, I just started watching both of those channels. I'm everywhere. I am eternal. Look here. Always good to see you play with Beard and Spider. Any chance of doing a bat rep with Liam? Well, so I was chatting with Liam and Joe, and they were like, "Hey, can you come and teach us Age of Sigmar?" And I was like, "I can, but here's my finder's fee." And they were like, "Screw you, just come down anyway." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine." So yeah, we'll get something in the diary. I'll come and show Liam how it's done. Is there a lore reason some humans are taller than other? I noticed guys on horse are a lot taller compared to foot troops. Not really. It's just because of the way those models are sculpted, and I think I think because the cavalry are much more heroic. They're a centerpiece. If they were the same scale as the steel helms, the horses would have to be a lot smaller. Whereas if you made the steel helms bigger, then they would start rivaling Stormcast, and that wouldn't feel right. So there's got to be like a clear height difference between Stormcast, and there's about a head's difference between them. But don't worry, like the steel helms, the Cavaliers will still look really small compared to stuff like I'm trying to think of Stormcast cavalry off the top of my head, or even something like the Agrodon Lancers. They look really diddy next to. I'm still struggling to decide a color scheme for my Bretonians when they are released. I'm waiting to see what they do. Blue and red is a classic though. What side shade would you recommend over white armor? I find Drakenhof / Nuln and Agrak stains too much. Soulblight Grey. Soulblight Grey is great over white armor. Weird question, but Nova Open is today? Now? Yeah. The Twitch stream is now up, is it?
We're not going to get to where we need to get to.
So it is.
We, as a team,
Are they previewing stuff? Who wants to see... No, not that. For God's sake. My audio driver's just reset. That should be back. Can you hear me now? It just changed the input for my microphone. It just went, oh, this will be good now. Are you kidding me? Ooh, we have a quiz. Marek, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very, very, very kind of you. You are our first new member of the day. And you take us to 215. Oh, they just show the answer straight away. Good. Good, I like it. Yeah, it was Angron. What is the sporting background of Jim Johnson, Bob Bifford's vampiric co-commentator? He's a former star player, isn't he? I thought Bob was a former star player. King Jericho. Oh. Jim Johnson. King, thank you for becoming a member. That is very, very kind of you. Our second member of the day. That takes us to 216. Which is the final gene seed organ to be implanted in a Space Marine neophyte? Oh, that's the black carapace, isn't it? I'm pretty certain that's the black carapace. I'm fairly certain on that one. I think I know that one. What do you like the most about the Cities of Sigmar? The thing I like most about the Cities of Sigmar is they provide a mortal baseline for Age of Sigmar. I'm just going to turn the music down because it's very loud. So they provide a mortal baseline for the world of Age of Sigmar. What they do is they ground it, which is something that it's needed for a little while. So anything that grounds the setting is a good thing. Did the commentators exist before the Blood Bowl video game? They did, and I believe the rulebook is written from their perspective as they teach you the game. You need 2,160 members, not 216. Come on, guys, spend those €3 to aid him and show him support. There are 130 of us. Half will be enough. That's very kind of you, Marek. If we had 2,000 members, I would hire somebody on the spot. Which of these Warcry warband sets includes the biggest number of fighting animals? I don't think it's... Yeah, I was about to say Hunters of Huan Chi. Yeah. Is it like skin layer, black carapace? Black carapace is basically it's basically the lungs. So it sits right across here. It's basically the solar plexus. And it is what interfaces with the armor. That turns the power armor into a second skin, basically. What was the first model of power armor developed specifically for the Legiones Astartes? That would be Crusade armor, Mark II. I think. There we have it. I might slap some gifted members down in the chat in a minute as a thank you for hanging out with me this evening. What do the Blood Gullet Moor tribe of ogres believe rests at the bottom of their bubbling holy lake? Gorka Morka's broken rib? I would guess. That seems the most appropriate for the Ogre Moor tribes. There you go. Do I know too much for Age of Sigmar lore? Robert Clark in with the 3. Robert Brillen with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, come on. Why is my 2 key not working? And Marek with a gifted 1. That's a nice number, that is. 222. I like it. I also drink Coke Zero. I have one right now. In fact, this drink will endow me with Warhipster's amazing painting skills. Yeah, it has been known. It has been known that Coke Zero gives you the power over contrast. You can, Doug. You can chat away. You can also, for everybody else, you can like the stream. What is the second circle in the realm of Slanesh? Secrecy. 4, I think. 3 or 4. If we get 15 more likes on the stream, guys, we get to the magic number. It's when YouTube... Oh, no. Oh, I did say 3 or 4. Gluttony. There you go. Hey, Vicious Goose. How's it going? Not great news for sorcerers on diets. Which of these chapter masters typically goes to battle clad in Terminator armor? Gabriel South, Articus Bardane, Lorgoth Maclear, Asterion Malok. I have no idea. Asterion Malok? I read Asterion as Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3. And I was like, oh, Bull, he's a rogue. Yeah. I'm usually at work, but we have Hurricane Idalia right now, even though it's a mild storm for us. Yeah, I heard about the hurricane. I hope you're safe. It changed direction, didn't it? At one point. One of the streamers I watch who play Call of Duty, Fixate, he was having to contend with it. What breed of Troggoth is thought to be the most numerous across the mortal realms? The Maya Brute, I would guess. It's the only one I recognise of the 4. Tom the Toad. I grant unto you alike no applause, please. Thank you, Tom. That's very kind of you. We did go past the magic number, though. Sour breath Troggoths. Well, there you go. I got it wrong. I failed you. I failed you all. Come on. These next 6 minutes pass quickly. I want to see what delights they are going to woo us with. What do we think is going to be first? I think they'll start with Age of Sigmar. I think they'll start with Age of Sigmar, and we'll see some really cool stuff. What are the specialist Morbidus bolt shells used for? Morbin time? They're used for fighting off Jared Leto. Anti-Tau operations designed to penetrate battlesuits. No idea. Hey, Nicker. Terror tactics, dispensing toxins and hallucinogenic gas. There you go. Any Necromunda on this one? I think so. I think there was some Necromunda. Let's have a look at the graphic. What did the graphic say? Not that one. Not that one. Come on now. Where's the orc gone? You're going to make me hunt for it, aren't you, website? There he is. On the thing we have, no Necromunda, we have Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer the Horus Heresy, Warhammer Underworlds, Warcry, Warhammer the Old World, and Blood Bowl, the game of fantasy football. The Morbidus shells are used to damage Morbius specifically, yeah. I just want new Terminators building some Deathwings. I'm sure we're going to get some new Terminators. We get a multi-part Terminator kit, which will have the assault variant in it as well. I'm 100%. I will be shocked. Nay, I will be shocked and appalled if we don't get both. What is the earliest known class of Imperial Dreadnought? Furibundus Contemptor Castroferum Incessus. I thought it was the Castroferum. I played I think I played Blood Bowl when I was a kid once or twice. I then played it 5 or 6 times as an adult and I've loved it every time. What are you hoping for? I am hoping for us to see a pile of Bretonnians and a pile of Tomb Kings, but I'm also hoping that we get some news about whether or not there's going to be like a core box, and if there is going to be a core box, what is going to be in that. It's unlikely that we'll see all of that, but I would like to see something that shows us how Old World is going to kick off. I want more Stormcast or Slaves to Darkness. Seized Fawn, you are a person after my own heart. Stormcast, you'll have to wait, I think, until summer next year, because AOS 4 is on the way. And that is when we'll get new. That is when we'll get new Stormcast. Slaves to Darkness, I'm not sure. We might get something as part of the Dawnbringers. It's just going to be a single resin Tomb King, just the one. In Bretonnian heraldry, what animal signifies close relations with Athel Lauren? Yeah, unicorn. Trolls throwing goblins at players as long as they don't eat them is what I want in a game. Yeah, Blood Bowl I think is one of their best, and it's that kind of thing I think that we all crave from our IPs. It's like with like Marvel and DC, the best stories are the ones where it's just absolutely crazy. It's why Guardians of the Galaxy worked, the first film. It was something completely different from the other stuff that we'd had. I think Blood Bowl does that for Warhammer. We don't have a 40k equivalent, but they really should be. New Ushabti, please. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Jack, welcome. You are now on the internet. Congratulations. Where do Iron Jaws Oryx source their so-called pig iron? From pigs. Oh, we should be starting. Are we starting? Are you going to make me refresh? Should I just hit the refresh and see what happens? More adverts. There we go. It's just what you like. Well, be gamble aware, guys. It's an important message right at the beginning of a Warhammer preview stream. Thanks, Twitch. It's what we needed. Which army/settings do you play? I have played... Oh, here we go. Nick and Eddie.
Just after they've seen some of the new reveals. So, Raph, you want to play that? We'll see how excited they were to see it.
I wonder what they've just seen. Does it say Leviathan on the straight on the That feels like that's reused footage.
Oh man, you can always rely on our event audiences to get super hyped up about new release stuff, and no crowd, no exception. That's great.
Yeah.
We've got some really cool things to show you very shortly. Before we do, we're joined in the chat by Mr. Vincent Notley, who's our moderator. Thank you, Notley, for joining us this evening.
You're also joined by the community at Warhipster, youtube.com/Warhipster Nick. Just saying.
Just to be nice. Should we get on to it?
Yeah. So just in terms of
Forgot
how it's
my
gonna work,
plaid.
we have a whole bunch of new Warhammer things to show you. Got loads of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't wear my plaid shirt either. I'm a failure. If you like what you see, guys, you should check out intotheam.com/warhipster for 10% off site-wide. Show us minis. Give me minis or give me death, Eddie and Nick. So what we do normally is we play the video and I scream. 17,000 viewers over at Warhammer Twitch. It's not bad for 2 o'clock in the morning or 9 p.m. where you guys are. We're gonna get straight in. Are you ready, guys?
I think with something for Space Marine. Let's do it for the Emperor.
That's a nice Terminator captain. Ooh, another captain. Really?
And new Space Marine Terminators. We saw the first of these, obviously, in the Leviathan box set earlier this year. Now there's some more on the way. Nick, what do we know about them?
They are fantastic. So they're super tough, super elite infantry for your army, of course. Terminators, famously so.
Is
And
that
this
better?
Is a multi-part box set rather than the sort of single build ones that came in the Leviathan box, with loads of options for you to build them however you want to.
Yeah.
We've got weapon options include the Cyclone missile launcher you can see here on the left-hand side, the heavy flamer on the right. You've also got lots of things like chain fists and extra weapons and stuff for your Terminators.
There you
too,
go,
and the
multi-part
classic infantry
Terminators.
sergeants as
Yeah.
well,
All
so
the classic kit that
all
you
of it.
expect. There's some,
Yeah.
Chain Fist, I think, is a big one there, so you can start carving through tanks
absolutely, man. Yeah, these are great.
and stuff. Some really nice alternate head options
literally
as
it.
well. I think it's maybe the first, or we haven't seen many Terminators that kind of half helmet look before, so that's really cool to see. And really fleshes out the options basically. So these are all same scale that add in really nicely. If you got a Leviathan set earlier this year, you add these on top of it, and all of a sudden you've got a pretty sizable and
So there's
scary
all,
looking first company.
Especially if you're trying to sort of build up your first company forces, like the Battlefield.
There's all the new stuff.
Scenario that came out recently.
Well, it's the typical stuff you would normally get in a Terminator squad.
And to build your forces up.
Yeah.
I need me some of these.
No specific iconography on these for any particular chapter, so they're quite happily to go into any of the kind of codex chapters. So they can be Black Templars, White Scars,
on
Ultramarines,
this-
as you see there. Also
on this Ultramarine here,
Salamanders or
Heavy Metal
Ultramarines.
gave up trying to get that transfer straight.
New Captain in Terminator armor. Of course, we saw the Captain in Terminator armor in the Leviathan box set. This is a really cool supplement to go alongside it. This is
Another
a
captain.
different build of a captain. It also comes with a combi weapon and a relic fist, which you can see on the top right hand as well, to give you a really
I think
nice option.
I think the
for builds.
Leviathan one's
So
nicer.
one of the things lots of fans of Warhammer 40,000 ask for quite a lot is options on their character kits. So that's what we're starting to see with some of these new Space Marine builds. You can see there you've got various different helmeted and unhelmeted heads.
things that are
You've got
new
the
on
choice
them.
of having Stormbolter
On
or
those
combi weapon.
Terminators
So you can personalize
is
this and make
heavy
your own. You can
flamer,
also see there the
chain
kind of robe,
fists,
at the bottom there is
and
optional if you want to go for a very kind of noble,
Cyclone missile
knightly
launcher.
aesthetic,
So
kind of
it's
Dark Angels or
it's
Ultramarines
the
or something like
classic
that.
Terminator
And
kit,
if you
just
want a more kind of
all of
austere
the bits
Spartan
now,
look for
and
your
it's
Iron Hands
multi-part,
or
so
something, you could
they'll be
just,
more posable
go old-fashioned and
than
not put
the,
too much decoration on it.
Of course, if you haven't thought about it before, having a captain leading your forces
Then
is
the,
absolutely
the
crucial
other
for a
ones.
Space Marine force. This guy's
In
got
Leviathan.
battle, and you have some free stratagems as the game goes on.
Yeah,
So
the
he's got unstoppable
the
value,
Leviathan
which lets you
captain, I think,
reroll
is
his
better than
charges
this
for
one.
the unit he's with. So if you put him with a Terminator unit, those guys are going to get stuck.
He's got his rock. He does have his
Not
rock,
the
but the
only
one
new
in
character on his
Leviathan.
way, though. So we also have a Terminator
See, now that's sick.
Chaplain Terminator armor, and again, this is a multi-build kit, so you've
That
got
Chaplain
different
is
options
sick.
for the helmet, you've also got different options for the Croziers, and you've got different options for his weapon loadout.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. And for the first time, I think, we've seen a chaplain with a huge shield. This is
chaplain
rare
with a storm
which,
shield.
Other characters have in the Space Marine Army as well, which makes him a lot.
I would
tougher.
guess that the Lightning Claw /
combined with
Thunder
the
Hammer
Sorcerers makes it
Storm
much
Shields are
more
going to be a
powerful
different kit, yeah.
as well.
clearly he was looking at his armor and he was like, what I need here is a place I can put more skulls. So he's not only got a skull helmet, he's also got a shield with another skull on it. If you look at the purity seals, one of them is a skull, and there's even a little skull drawn on the purity seal as well. So this is one of the most skull-intensive Space Marine models.
Isn't it? He's even got a skull
got
helmet.
a lot of skulls.
Yeah. And also, like, shout out to the fact that Crozius Arcanum has got 2 different builds. He's got the blunt option.
That is a nice.
and
It's
the
a nice
slicey
chaplain.
option
That
on the
one.
left, so you can
That's
cut
good.
or
I like
slash,
that.
you know,
Very
so-
flexible.
Yeah, right.
I like
Any,
that a lot.
situation. Yeah, wonderful miniature, and again, scaled to new Terminators. So
It surprised me that there wasn't
Really
a new
exciting if you're
chaplain
looking to kind of
in
build into that first
Leviathan,
company
that it
vibe.
was
The
just
Leviathan
a
box obviously gave a great start to
librarian.
that, but this kind of gives you a whole bunch more options for it. But sometimes Terminators aren't the tool.
Okay,
to
there's
the
more.
job, and you want something a little bit faster. So let's have a look at the next video.
Now that right there, that's a captain. Assault Marines! Oh man, cool. As a Blood Angels player, this makes me ever so very happy. Oh, I just got hot under the collar. Why not? What? They've buried the lead there.
Dropping in from space to kick some face, we have the new Assault Intercessors with jump packs and a new captain to lead them. Nick, what do we know about these units?
So, well, first of all, we know they're pretty flyer, right? These guys are awesome. We've got jump packs on Primaris Marines for the first time, which is great to see. Saw a little bit of a hint of that in some of the Space Marine trailers for the computer games back in the day, but now good to see them as models. Wonderful new unit, Assault Intercessors.
Those are
with jump
gorgeous.
packs here. Super fast. They can move into combat as fast as you'd expect. They've got 12 inch movement.
Like I said,
Have
as a
loads
Blood
of
Angels
tactical
fan,
combat, so you wanna
I
get these
could
guys
not
stuck in
be
as soon as
happier.
possible.
They're going to look
the
nice in the
Sculptor has
BA
lots of
paint
different
scheme.
builds you can put them in,
JJ,
so,
I
uh,
promise
sort
you
of
there will
chainsaw,
be
and
a
Blood
Blood Angels How to
Angels
Paint
hand
tutorial
paint
on
is
Jump
what
Pack
you have as well.
Intercessors.
So yeah, super customizable unit, and instead of having to have your guys inside a
There
transport,
they
unit into
are.
combat, they can just fly across the battlefield. straight
Look at
in,
that.
which is great.
Worth saying as well, obviously, this unit paints up red very nicely. So if you have a Blood Angel army, this is going to be almost a given that you're going to want to have at least 1 or 2 squads of these in your force.
Try 30.
Also, Raven Guard
Try
make
again, Eddie.
extensive use of jump pack troops
30
as
of
well,
them.
so you can use them. I think that's the Power Fist in there as well, so there's an option
Box
for
of
that.
5 only.
Loads of different options.
I would
for
guess
your,
it'll be a box of
your
5,
Sergeant,
yeah.
and the Hand Flamer, as you talked about there, is on there.
Death Company
the
with
model
jump
too.
packs.
These are really
Exactly,
dynamic,
Bri.
cool models. They look heavy at the same time as looking fast. You can sort of imagine the
Tactical
mess these
rock
guys are
haters
going to
be
make when they
seething
land in the
right
middle
now.
of a kind of Chaos Cultist blob or a mob
Yeah,
of Gene Stealer
absolutely.
Cultists or something. You do not want to be under one of these when it lands,
It's
basically.
just great to see them back in.
Oh,
good form.
that
Have
makes me
this
very
sort of,
happy.
sort of archetype in
Thank
there.
you, Games Workshop.
And it's just nice to have them back in as another tactical option to have. in your
There is
force.
hope
And you know what?
for the Blood
They're the
Angels.
Vice Captain, right? We've got that as the next picture.
Look at him.
They've become even better because, of course, in 40k you've got attached units now.
He
and
better
this
be
beautiful,
customizable.
Beautiful miniature. of
I
the
want a
captain.
thunder
He's got his
hammer
cloak in full flow as he's flying
and a
through the
storm
air.
shield on him.
It's quite a short tactical cloak, isn't it? So he's not gone for like a great, huge flowing cloak, because that's probably
Thunder
not hugely
hammer
practical when you've got a jet
And
engine
storm
strapped to your
shield,
back.
please.
Again, this is a captain miniature with loads of options. So you can see a couple of options there already. We've got the chain sword and the power sword, relic sword, sorry. But you've also got an option in there for a power fist, and you've got an option for a hand
Oh, what are you
flamer,
doing
so you
to
can
me,
kind of
Games
lean
Workshop?
into
What are you
whatever
doing
build,
to me?
Either for tactical purposes or because it suits your particular style of
Oh
play. So if you've got
my.
a salamander army, you're probably going to want to give him the hand
Is it
flamer.
just me or is it hot in here? I
if
don't
you've
think it
got,
should
like,
be
a
allowed
Giant
to.
Fist, you might want to give him the great enormous.
This
power
shouldn't be
fist.
allowed on
A
YouTube.
couple of
should
head
it?
options in there as well. Again, a captain with loads of
I
options.
should go
to
on
make
to
it
my
work,
only
which
fa-
is exactly what Space Marine fans have been after.
It's just a beautiful model, it really is. And if you've got an Assault Intercessor squad in your force, have him leading them as well. The Angel's Wrath rule means that the whole squad gets +1 strength on a charge. If you combine that with the Sons of Sanguinius detachment rule for the Blood Angels on the index cards, that's +2 strength on the charge. So that's a strength 10 power fist and strength 6.
It's
chain
hot.
swords all over the place. Loads of
Warhipster
attacks,
is getting
get 'em in
moist.
combat, wonderful
yeah.
stuff, and a wonderful model
Yeah.
as well. That's going straight.
For a minute there, I forgot about the
But that's not it. We've got there's even more
blinding
Space Marine
pain
stuff on
in
the
my
way.
leg.
So let's have a look at the
More
next
what?
video.
Oh, Stengard. There's a back banner, guys.
Another new multi-part Space Marine unit. This time it's the Stern Guard. These are the elite Space Marines of the first
Now.
company. Nick, tell us about this kit.
They are the best armed unit in your
Big
army.
question.
And first
Is
of all,
it as good
they've got a back banner
as the
on
original
back,
Stern Guard
which is
kit?
great. We've got an older,
You're very excited about
very
the
excited
back
about
banner
that.
when you
Is it as
we've
good
got older marks of armor in there. You can
as the
also
Blade
see
Guard
Mark
kit?
8 helmet on the left-hand side and a few bits. These guys are
I would
veterans,
suggest
right?
not quite.
They
They're
carry
very
the
pretty.
best guns.
They're very, very
brand
pretty.
new weapon on the right-hand side, the
I want to see
Flying
some
Cannon,
other...
which is like the souped-up version of the guns that the
What else is there?
carry. So this thing is the biggest, most flaming.
That flamer there on the side is insane.
Loads of options on the kit. You
Is
can
that a
get
heavy incinerator?
all the guns interchangeable with bolt rifles, combi weapons.
Yeah, the back banner is a really nice touch.
You can have a chainsaw, power fist, or power weapon.
It's a really nice touch.
Suit them up, kit them out the way you want.
There better be a
These guys.
a
This is
sick
a great
transfer
kit if you
sheet to
really
go
want
with
those
that.
extra bits as well to kind of maybe mix because you've got loads of different helmet options in there, helmeted, unhelmeted heads. You've got the whole squad can have rifles, the whole squad can have combi weapons. There's a heavy bolter, I think I'm right in
That's
saying,
right,
in this
yeah,
kit
there
as
is, yeah,
well. So you really can make these guys your own. And when you do build this kit, you'll have lots of spare bits to kind of sprinkle through the rest of your space.
That'll be
Marine
fun
army.
It's a
to
complete
put
bits
with,
box as well,
yeah,
You
it's
can have
good.
Loads of extra bits.
That back banner can go anywhere.
Because I've already
Anyone
got
can have
Have it all.
I've already got
Yeah, it's
20
really great
Blood
to see.
Angels
It's
Stone
nice,
Guard.
like, if you hark back to classic Space Marine.
So having the
builds in there
5.
as well. So they've got the old helmets. A few like different.
The
armor
Blade
types in
Guard
there,
kit had stuff
which
like
is
the
just really
Blade
nice to
Guard
see,
wiping
especially for
blood
us
off of
older
his
Space Marine
sword
players who've played
and
them
stuff
for
like
a long
that.
time. Nice
So
nostalgia trip as well.
where's
It's really cool to
is
see.
that character
There we go.
within the
But
Stern
yeah,
Guard?
But again, but not the only new
There's more.
elite Space Marines that are on the way. There's more. There's
Can't
more.
believe
Nick.
it. What
More
else we got?
Space Marines? It's a command squad. He looks like the captain from...
So this is the return of a kind of classic archetype Space Marine unit, the Command Squad. So
Yes!
we've seen Command Squads before, but we've not kind of seen them coalesce together maybe under the kind of
my.
Primaris aesthetic. Tell us about
Look
this
at
one.
this
There's always
banner.
been sort of a collection of guys all brought together, but this is actually a bespoke squad. First and foremost, Eddie, some of the nicest Space Marine miniatures we've ever made. I think they're that ancient. for
Nick,
me,
I
it's just
100%
beautiful.
agree.
Some of the coolest veterans.
Some of the nicest
Your heroes
Space Marines
in
you've
battle.
ever made.
These guys are basically a squad of 4 that will accompany either a captain or a chapter master into battle. The box actually comes with the captain you see there, which is another brand new captain miniature as well, with loads of options all over them. as
Another
well.
captain.
And the whole squad is there to guard your hero, keep him alive a lot longer.
Okay.
Buff everyone around them and be absolutely
That
boss in
champion
combat
is
and shooting
cool.
as well. They're just a really cool little unit, and for me, really, it's going to be a nice little painting project as well. I think these guys are great.
Yeah, I think these really are like a painter's dream. There's some really nice individual models in there. So the company
Guys.
champion is obviously he's going to.
Guys,
He's just a really nice kind of character, great for taking on enemy
I know
heroes. Got
you
the
love
banner as well, which
my
is a
Blood
nice kind of
Angels
centerpiece for the-
tutorials,
for the-
but
for
it's
the
now
army.
the time to start
We've
a
also
new
got
Space Marine
that's a bit
army.
battered and missing an arm. We haven't seen a huge amount of bionics. Up to
Is
this
now
point
the
on
time.
Primaris Marines. But again, the captain is probably the star of the show because he's again really
that banner-
flexible kit. You can build it in lots of different ways. So coming straight
Some
out
of that
this
is
release,
sculpted
you
on
can
that
kind of
banner, and
choose
some of
whatever
that
captain you want
is
for the Joint Space Marine
transfers.
Force. You can have him with
So
jump
the
pack,
Ultima
Terminator
is a
armor,
transfer.
You can have him in Tacticus armor, and within that
I
choice,
think the rest
you
of
can
it's
still choose
sculpted.
loads of different options. So it's a great time to start collecting Space Marines and to kind of lean into whatever you want for your,
You're
your
absolutely
leader.
right.
That is a very
good
pretty
shout. Look at
Dark
him top
Angel.
right there with his,
Sandman of
power
Terror
pistol
is
and
here.
pistol.
Yeah, and that's all from the same kit. So you've got lots of different ways you can approach building that Space Marine captain.
Wonderful stuff. It's really nice to see sort of hero models back with lots of different options.
See,
as
part-
well.
part of
I've
me-
been asking for
I
them as
could do
well,
Dark
and
Angels
it's great to
again.
see
I
customizable
get
heroes
bullied
like this
whenever I
in games,
use
which is really
Dark
nice.
Angels. I don't like it.
Very cool. All
Yeah.
right.
So at the other end of the experience spectrum for Space Marines,
Yes,
you've
of
got
course.
those plucky young recruits who are on maybe their first mission.
Are we
with the
about to see
backpack. Let's
scouts?
have a look at our next video.
Scouts.
So the 10th company of the Space
What are
Marines,
doing
going
to
out
me,
for their
Games
training day.
Workshop?
What do we know about this squad?
So we've seen this archetype before in the Black Templar squads when they had the I can't remember the name. Not initiates. Neophytes. Thank you.
Sorry.
But now we see sort of Codex chapters get access to scouts as well with the new models. They're just absolutely beautiful. Of course, a very classic unit for the Space Marines. Scouts have been around pretty much as long as Space Marines have been in Warhammer 40,000.
Guys,
You can take squads of these in 5
Scouts.
to 10. Lots of different weapon options in the box. They can all have shotguns, bolters, or bolt pistols and combat knives. There's also options in the box for a heavy bolter and a missile launcher as well, which is super
in
cool.
my possession, across
these
3
guys are
different
super stealthy
Space
in
Marine
the-
armies,
in
my
the
Ultramarines,
game. You can move them around
my
the
Dark
battlefield,
Angels,
they can disappear
and my
and
Blood
reappear
Angels.
all over the place.
I
And
have
they can use a
50
smoke screen
scouts.
as well, so they just
Because I
walk
love
around with
scouts.
screens of
Smoke
smoke.
sort
That's
of thing,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, you've got some options for the sergeant in there as well. So he's obviously a
To
fully
have
fledged
scouts
Space
make a
Marine, but choosing
return
to wear scout armor to kind of lead them to battle
is the
you've
best
also got
thing
a sniper rifle in there as well.
ever.
Yes.
So
I can't explain
lots
it
of
to you
tools
why I
to
love
train,
them so
basically,
much.
So you're kind of will be devastating Marines.
But scouts, man, show us the shotguns,
They can
100%.
Exactly, they can go for enemy characters with the sniper alpha. You can take out.
Give me
long-range
give me
targets.
shotguns.
They're really good at sneaking around and taking objectives, especially with their guerrilla tactics rule. It lets them just sneak off in any way they want to.
Give me
They're
shotguns.
really cool in an army, and just look at the custom.
Nick,
options.
Eddie,
I love
give me
that
shotguns.
top right, it's so cool.
Give
The
me
whole box is
shotguns.
just a great box. Get involved. You know.
And again, it's going to come with loads of
There's
different
a shotgun
options
on the
because
right,
you can kit
on the
squad
right.
out kind of in bolter direction, in bolt pistol direction, or in shotgun direction.
Thank you,
so can
Doug.
have all those other bits left to play with for lots of different.
I always used to have like 4 guys with bolt guns and a heavy bolter, and then another squad that was all combat weapons running into combat with them. Because they're still Space Marines in combat. They're still pretty.
Are
good
those
at
going
fights.
to launch as a
That's
kill
better
team for the
than
new
most
season being
people's
possible to
other
find
base
for
Yeah,
months? I
absolutely.
don't know, Eric.
There we go.
I hope not.
Scouts on the way very soon. There's so much to get painted now for Space
There's a
Marines.
lot of Space Marines.
So much Space Marines.
Got
To
enough blue paint, Nick?
Are there any more?
plenty, but also note to say that all of the models we've just shown you can be used for any of the chapters.
Are there any more Space Marines?
So no, not just blue paint, although blue paint, in my opinion, is the best. Yeah, if you're Dark Angel fans, Blood Angel fans, all for you as well. Some folks in the chat sort of saying, all just for Codex chapters. No, these are.
No, they're for everyone.
You'll be finding a useful in Space Wolf army. as well,
Everyone
and, you know,
does this every
watch
time.
bases, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they're only for Space Ultramarines. No, it's for
Right, let's
everyone.
just have a quick roundup of all those Space Marines that we've just seen then, and then we'll tell you a little bit about the Codex.
Planet Ogram was ruthlessly devoured, but
Okay.
the war did not end there.
We've got a roundup here. All the Space Marines ever. See now, for me, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that right there would have made a way more impressive Leviathan box than the one we got. So I understand why it's this way around, but that would have made a much more impressive Leviathan box. Just missing the Assault Terminators.
So that's all of the new Space Marine models that are on their way. They are, of course, featuring in a brand new codex for the Space Marines,
Yes.
which will be the second codex for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 after the Tyranid 1 goes on pre-order this weekend. Nick, what do we know about this new Space
So
Marine codex?
exciting. Every time we see a Space Marine Codex, there's always new exciting things to talk about. The big one here, of course, is that there are more detachments on the way.
I swear if
Detachments
AOS doesn't get this
already
kind of
formed in
revealed
Tyranids,
treatment, I will be
that came
pissed.
around before.
Patton,
But
I'm
Space
with you.
Marines are going to get new ones as well. Of course, there's the
That is the
Gladius Task
main-
Force, which we know and love from the index cards.
This is the
That's in
main
there as well,
yardstick
but
by which
also
I judge
there's
these
a whole
things.
bunch of new detachments that lets you focus your army in the way you want to. Now, previously we would have had stuff like rules for
They are
Iron
talking
Hands
about
or
rules.
for Salamanders or White Scars. But rather than having chapter-specific rules now, we've actually gone for the detachments, which sort of hint heavily towards one of those chapters, but don't say you have to use them.
Yeah,
for
so
example,
scrutinise
one,
it now, Ed.
Detachment's all about using tech marines.
You
and
might
vehicles.
find-
Another one's about
I don't
close
think you
quarter
will.
shooting. Another one that's all about using fast vehicles to get forwards and fight, or even sneaking around in the background with sort of your vanguard troops. So you can customize your army any way you
New
like.
bikes got-
So,
oh.
you know, you can have sort of an army of Ultramarines bikes with the rules for an army of bikes, but they don't have to be White Scars, if it makes sense.
So
which
you,
is
you
really
don't
cool.
quite feel bad for having the wrong
Yeah.
colour on the battlefield, or by hamstringing yourself into using the wrong rules, I guess, for your army. So certainly if you
What
do
size
have
is
an army
that
like
book?
White Scars or
Oh, it'll be thick.
Salamanders or Iron Hands, that's
It'll be a
already
thick,
lent into the theme,
thick
there
book.
is a detachment for
Oh,
you.
100%.
But equally, if you're like, you know what, I really like red space
Well, they'll have
Marines,
over
but they also
100
really
data
like
sheets, right?
Flamers.
tanks
Yeah.
or
How
flamers
Space
or
Marines
something,
go.
you can absolutely kind of lean
Absolutely.
in that direction and make the army work for you.
Which is a really nice little tweak to change here. You can build your army any way you like, which leans, of course, into how many different options there are. And just
Let's
look at
just
that bit, you can
turn them
build them
down a
any way
little
you
bit
like
for
at
the
all.
moment.
Clean the miniatures, and there is going to
Because this is the boring bit. We only care about models around here and how they are painted red.
All about the veterans and the Terminators coming down. Which
Or
obviously the new Terminators,
maybe
the
yellow.
Standguard,
I have been
Infantry,
toying with doing an Imperial
and
Fists
all-
army,
all
as
in
I
there.
really
Every
enjoy
faction has its own
painting
stratagems and
yellow
enhancements as well,
now.
just like Tyranid book does, which is lean
But then I've
into,
always been like,
the
I need to have a
style
yellow
of
army, and I've
going
got
for.
one. It's my
So, yeah,
Needs
it's
of
super
Votan,
exciting,
sponsored
and
by
it's just round the
EE.
corner as well.
Not
Coming in the
really.
next few weeks. Not too
can't-
long at all to wait for that one.
Can't wait to play some games with that.
Right, so
Oh.
we've had a little bit of Warhammer 40,000. We're going to jump now to the Mortal Realms and have a look at something exciting that's coming over.
Mortal
the horizon.
Realms, here we go. Main event. The King of the Troggoths. Trog's Great Trog Herd.
Eddie, what's that? We've discovered a brand new monster in the realm. Actually, it's Trug the Troggoth King, a huge monster for the Greenspike Gits.
him
Yeah,
out.
so this is an incredible miniature. I think a contender probably for miniature of the year for me. This is the largest Troggoth we have yet seen. He has been dubbed King of the Troggoths.
Oh
This is an
my
ancient
goodness
being who has
me.
slept for centuries. He slept for so long, in fact, that an ancient civilization has even started building temples and things on his back. He didn't even notice. It didn't wake him up. But the recent tumultuous events of the realms have kind of shaken him
This
from
is
his centuries-long slumber. And basically,
stunning.
that huge engine on his back gives him a headache whenever he goes near anything
Listen.
magical. So he's
Listen.
basically wandering along the magical
Listen.
ley lines of the mortal realms.
I know you
trying
guys want to see
smash all the
loads of
magical things he
Gloomspike
can
Gits
find so that
tutorials.
he can
I
get back to
know.
sleep.
I know.
It's brilliant. It's such a great character miniature
But
as well. It's got that,
they've
got
never
that sort
really
of
grabbed me.
over the top sort of character of
But
the
this
Troggoths
right
of
here-
Sigmar, but with the extra added bits on
Consider
top,
me
and also
grabbed,
how big he is as well. I've just thought
tackled to the ground.
monstrous. The big old lodestone on his back as well. He doesn't like
Pinned
it. He's
down.
whacking it with his big club, and it has various magical.
And
effects
I'm
throughout
into
the
it.
Game, so he doesn't know how it works, but he just keeps hitting it, and something magical happens.
It's a
and
very
just great
weird
fun to
stream
play
tonight,
the game.
guys.
Yeah.
That one looks big. Oh
Loads
yeah.
of absolutely stunning details on this guy. So you've got kind of bits of relic.
I would
and,
guess that that's a
artifacts
a
from
90
lost
mil,
civilization that probably
maybe
no one alive in
100
the
mil
Mortal Realms
round
is
base.
even, like aware of the language of.
Probably not that big, though.
Bits of old.
It's probably a-
magical,
Do you know what? It's
lineage
probably a
offerings
similar
sort of
size to
kick around
old.
and you could imagine him like
Screamer
underneath
Killer.
a hill or a mound somewhere.
probably
and this
that big.
Civilization blissfully unaware that their entire culture was built on literally on the back of a Troggoth. Loads of other little lovely features. So there's a tiny little troglings kind of wandering around on there as well. There's skulls and things. There's actually some cave paintings on his belly and on his legs.
So
you-
good.
You can almost imagine maybe they didn't even know that they were drawing on
That's
the side
amazing.
of
I
a
love
troll.
those things.
So these kind of primitive cultures would have been writing things on him, thinking, that this is our.
This is such a lovely
What a
model.
great painting project's going to be. It's discovering new details every time you.
Yeah,
quickly brush
it's
it.
really cool. He's got these enormous great horns as well. So he's been asleep in the realm of Gyron.
Needs a
in
glaze
Realm
of
Life,
Scrag Brown in
kind of
that.
Life energy's infused in while he's been sleeping, and you can see that
Come on now.
manifesting through these great big horns.
Come on
through
now.
the,
I'm the only one who's
tendrils
filthy
and
around
things that are
here.
kind of creeping around the obelisk on his back.
Is that
It's
an
such
oval
a cool
base?
model. And yeah, you're right, chat. He's got a very big beard as well, which is great for a
Oh,
Troggoth
could,
miniature.
yeah.
Yeah, he's coming with the new Dawnbringers book as well, which is we'll talk about in a bit. But he's on his way, lumbering over the hill with his army of Troggoths.
That's very
and he's
pretty.
terrifying.
It's
I
it's
used
in
the
a
game
classic
recently,
long
and
line of
he's
Games
almost
Workshop
impossible to kill, but
monsters.
he's got a few rules in there, which means like other Troggoths he can regenerate.
You will
wounds as he
never
goes along, but
transport
he's
that safely.
thanks to just being asleep in the realm of Gyron, imbued with life, so he regenerates even more than others do. So it's really tough to kill him. So he's a perfect.
He's a
model
Gyronite.
to lead your Gits Force.
Yeah. Well, we're talking a little bit there about the new Dawnbringers book. Let's jump to that now. Actually,
have a look
on
now.
A
what's,
new Dawnbringers book. Hello. What's it called? The first one was really good. Troggoths rise up, as do the Aurochs. Come on! Aurochs! Gardas, my man, the best man, the greatest of men. I love him. Gardas Steelsoul, best character in the game. Talia. Gardas Steelsoul. Oh no. What if he's not okay?
So the Dawnbringers Crusades continue, Eddie. Part 2, The Reign of the Brute. What do we know about this book?
Well, the Brute refers to Trog, the Troggoth King, as the model we just previewed. But yes, this continues the story of the Dawnbringers Crusades, specifically 2 great crusades heading out of Hammerhall, one into the realm of fire, one into the realm of life. And in this particular book, they bump into destruction. They literally bump into the forces of destruction. So there is a very heavy presence from Trogs. There's a very
if you guys
who are trying to get in the way.
Do you guys follow these books?
Aurochs as well that are kind of
because in the Broken
attacking
Realms,
crusades from all sides. So Sigmar's great hope.
it didn't go well for my favourite characters in Hallowed Knights,
which aren't too pleased to see them.
Giant monsters, man.
So loads of great lore, loads of great
I
stories.
will riot if something happens to Gardas.
Loads of Path to Glory rules.
Genuinely,
to
guys, I'm not
recreate those
kidding.
battles and
I
for you
will
to fight
quit.
Your own Dawnbringer Crusades. There's lots of
No, I won't.
specific
That's
stuff
how I
for
pay the
destruction
bills.
as well.
Like
So
the stream.
We've talked a bit about it already. Hinted at some of the rules around Troggoths.
Gardas.
Gardas
better be okay, man.
In this book,
He needs
which
to be
basically
protected.
lets you do
He's
an
a national
entire
treasure.
Trog-leaning army, mostly to be led by the Troggoth King, with loads of rules specifically for the kind of wandering horde that is following around in his wake.
And fantastic. And also, of course, you saw in
Gardas
the video
didn't
there,
die.
a lot of the new big iron skulls, the pigs in the chat. People are very excited about.
It was Loris
An
Grimm.
entire army of pigs is in that book as well. You can
Loris
take just an
Grimm
army of grunters, which is
was
great.
It is, in
killed
fact,
by Be'lakor.
Let's have a look at some more of the new Iron Jaws now.
Let's do it now.
New Iron Jaws. Give it to me, baby. Throw it at me. You end the edition as you began it. Oh man. Oh my. It is time for a proper
Wow,
scrap.
it's time for the Iron Jaws to make a big appearance back in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Man, we had some great models before in the past. We've seen some more models recently, but this is a whole wave of Aurochs.
There are a lot of Aurochs on their way for sure. So we'll start off with this guy.
Zogrock,
So we saw
Anvil
Clonk at the
Smasher,
start of the week. I think
and
already a
Clonk.
hit with
Yeah,
fans
absolutely,
everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, what is not to love? It's a squig who is also an anvil with fabulous hair.
I almost don't want to hear them
comes
too
with,
much.
A new Auroch special character, Zogrock Anvil Smasher, which is basically
that's
an Auroch
sick,
smith.
man.
So this is
But
one
here's
of
the
Aurochs
thing,
who
right?
does-
I look at
has a
it
skill
and
beyond just
I
hitting
go,
really hard.
Iron Jaws
This
yellow
guy can
just
hit
doesn't
metal
seem
really
like the right
hard
colour
and
for
make
it.
into,
But look
great
at how
weapons.
warm that yellow is.
He is a named character for Age of Sigmar.
And
so
Iron
I've
Jaws
got
yellow
named Iron
looks
Jaw, which is
like
pretty cool.
sort of like a
And
brownish
he is a
grey.
smith. He has a couple of
Well,
options,
GW admit they are no longer
in
28
game,
mil
so you can
scale.
either
Yeah,
get
they
out
probably
a
should.
ward-smashing,
It's
weapon,
at
or
minimum
you can
40
kill
mil
with stuff
scale
to
these
help
days.
buff nearby Auroch units. So a really useful model, something we haven't really seen before for Iron Jaws in terms of like a buff
Current
character.
poll. Clonk?
And also like a really great model
What?
to paint. And of course, he comes in a set with Clonk.
Go away.
I'd even argue that he comes free with your Clonk miniature.
Oh, well, you can certainly look at it that way if you want to. But yeah, a really fun model.
He's
great kind
nice.
of,
I like him.
Addition to your Iron Jaws force.
Yeah, he's really
Many
cool. He has
people
the
will
ability
convert
as well
that
to hit,
into
so
a,
hard with his ward smashing chopper. He can literally switch off enemies' ward saves.
What's the mech
for the
mode?
rest
Is
of
it a
the
mech
battle, which
boy?
He literally smashes their ward saves, which is really cool in game. I can't think of many rules in the game that do that. He's a nice, unique option.
AOS sculpts they're getting out of this world,
Very cool.
100%.
He's not alone. We've also got Brute Rages. So Auroch culture is all about boasts, right? So Aurochs basically stomp around the Auroch
Now
camps as much as
those-
they can, arm wrestle a Gargant or
Those are
headbutt
some
a
Aurochs
mountain or something
right
like that.
there.
And sometimes they'll get called on those boasts and not be able to live up to it. And the shame of that,
They're wearing
drives,
leg armor
the
just to
Auroch
slow
troops,
them down. They're
to
that
become
hench.
Brute Rages. What they do is they
Look
discard
at
their
those
armor They
Look
take
at
great
those.
two-handed weapons and they go
Look
charging
at
off
you.
into the middle of the enemy army like berserkers to prove that they are absolutely the hardest orcs around, and nobody could ever
Paint his skin
accuse
red
them
or
of being
blue for a
cowardly or
tutorial.
not
Yeah,
good
we
at
can
their
do that.
ranks. So these are
My
a
god,
kind
now
of
that's a
almost
weapon.
shamed,
Which one? All
for
three of them are
over-bragging.
mad.
It would take a brave soldier to challenge an Auric on his bragging, wouldn't it? These models are fantastic.
This is the
First
reason I
seen
play
in
OS.
Warhammer
This is
Underworld
why
a
I
little
prefer
while
Age
ago,
of
one these
Sigmar.
brute
Just
rages.
as a
Now,
hobbyist,
whole unit
as a
of them
builder,
get
as a
in
painter,
Warhammer
Age of Sigmar
You can take lots of
wins
different
it.
weapon options you can
Versus
take chain
40k.
smashers,
And like this
gore
is the
hackers or
thing
brute
as well.
crushers,
I
all
was
which are
talking about this
devastating
with
in
Adam
combat. And these guys are
and
berserk.
Joe,
They can run
for all you
and
Liam
charge
fans
at
out
the
there.
same time, which makes them super good in the game.
The
So get them involved.
an AOS army
Insert
looks
them in
like
the
an
enemy
army.
as soon as possible and see what they
40k
can do.
armies these days
Yeah,
don't
they are
really
pretty
look
hard
like
guys, yeah,
armies.
absolutely.
This
Not
is
with
a
the way
dual
that
kit
you
as
can
well, so
build
you
them.
can also build these guys as weird brute wreckers. So weird brute wreckers are orcs who channel an unusual amount of war energy. It gives them like a bit of a
See,
a
now I
green
don't
headache,
know
and
which
sometimes they can
one's
start
cooler.
vomiting glowing green.
Those what? This
power,
guy in the
basically.
middle.
And the orc solution to this.
Look
is
at
to kind
that
of
one in the
embrace it,
middle. You're
and
going to paint
hammer
the
these,
tattoos. Hell yeah, I'm going to paint the
masks onto
tattoos.
and let them run off towards the enemy with these great ball and chains and swinging.
Hell yeah, I'm going to do
Yeah,
that.
imagine them to be like, remember Night Goblin Fanatics? You know, the Grot Fanatics?
Yeah,
They're
Those-
like that, but
this one on the
huge,
left,
big
look at
versions
him.
Of them. They just run into enemy force.
Just in
and
case Night Goblin Fanatics weren't scary enough, you can now it's an enormous great Auric brute
These things are just
swinging a
terrifying.
ball and chain. So
What are you
again,
doing to me,
a kind of
Games
line
Workshop?
breaker unit basically that's going to go into the middle of the enemy army and just make an absolute mess. These are particularly good for kind of smashing through hordes of
See,
enemy infantry.
do you know what? They often
They
say
get-
this
they
is
get
going to be the
so
biggest.
many attacks, and if you roll well, even more as well. But look at these, Eddie. The new workings of the Auric Ardboys, the new sort of models for the Iron Jaws, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah, so this is a really, really lovely kit. So I think even though Auric Ardboys are arguably like the basic unit in the Iron Jaws army, this is like a showstopper kit. These are really.
I don't know what to say.
Previously, the Auric Ardboys used the old Black Orc models from Warhammer Fantasy. This is a huge glow up for that kit.
I
They've much more character,
genuinely
more
don't know
dynamism in
what to
these models.
say.
Really kind of rugged, angry-looking shields.
Just
even the
look.
kind of shields are kind of weapons.
Just
more options than they used to have. So you've got some spear options in there. You've got the champion. You can kit them out in different ways, and they can give you some options basically for your Iron Jaws battle.
I think the fact that they've just been brought into line with how the Auric Brutes and the rest of the range look as well.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Games Workshop?
Some of the
Games
callbacks,
Workshop,
I
what
was
are you
talking about
doing?
a little bit like the
What are
Blood
you
Bowl,
doing?
Orcs and the old Black Orc miniatures, especially with the helmets. So they've got a few of those callbacks in there, but with the new Orc.
You
They've
think
got a
back to
gorgeous
sorry,
helmet.
look,
Yeah, they have.
come on now.
Yeah,
With the
You,
tusks.
you think back
and also
to
they've got a lot better in the game as well.
you
Max
think
mini
back
miniatures,
to
you can
the
imagine they're
AOS
just
previews
harder
at
and so much more tough to kill
Warhammer
as well,
Fest,
so
and I was like,
that's
eh,
great.
it's
They're
okay.
now sitting on a 3-up save basic, which is pretty tasty in Age
Cities of
of Sigmar. That's
Sigmar.
quite hard to get. And
New
those
Iron
spears
Jaws.
as well can give you benefits against charging enemies, which is pretty cool. So at the moment, most of your Iron Jaws, quite rightly, are all about running at the enemy.
GW to Warhipster Towers in the next few days. I predict it as well, Ian.
So it's quite useful to have a unit that is both hard to kill and very good at taking a charge. These are absolutely your amble unit in an Iron Jaws force.
Yeah, must have for any Auric player. Those are fantastic. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
And also, Eddie, the
Look at
Iron
that.
Jaws Battle Tome supplement.
Look at that Battle Tome
Yeah, so
supplement.
there is a supplement for Battle Tome Oryx. Basically it's going to be a free PDF. So all of those new
thank you
units
very
that
much for
we've
the 5.
shown off today,
And Tyler,
including
what
the
are your
new,
thoughts on the jump pack
pigs that
intercessors
we saw
joining late
previously,
pick my boys
and
to
the
bed?
new Iron Jaws big
They,
boss that we
the
saw
jump
on
pack
the Gimme
intercessors are
site.
sick. The
All of
jump
those
pack
will
captain
have,
is
be available in the
genuinely
new
one of the best
supplement
models.
and in your Warhammer Age of Sigmar app, so you can
Best
download
space
it for
marine,
free
but the
and add
command
them into
squad,
your
dude.
existing
The
Iron
command
Jaws or,
squad.
big
Look at the
Warhammer.
command squad.
So
But-
cool. There we go. What a wonderful
It was a good
range.
Space Marine
Right,
release. I think Iron Jaws are winning right now.
We have. Where are we?
What have we got next?
More pigs?
Let's watch the video and see what.
Let's watch the video and find out.
Got a video. Sons of Horus. We're into Horus Heresy now. But Tyler, thank you very much for the 5. That's very kind of you. Ooh. Ooh. They are very pretty. a redesigned Mark III kit? Is that a redesigned Mark III kit?
A new multi-part iron armor kit for the Horus Heresy. Nick, what do we know about this new unit?
Mark
Well, that
III.
is, well, so they are an all-round box to be used throughout your Horus Heresy forces. We've got the Mark III tactical
See,
squad here. And of
I
course,
think the Mark
interchangeable
IIIs
with all of the
look so much better than the
as well. So
Mark
the
IVs.
special weapons and the heavy weapons we already have, you can use on these guys.
I-
as well.
I-
So it's super custom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's the key
Fair
thing
play.
about this
Fair,
unit. Obviously,
fair
we
play,
have
Games
seen,
Workshop. Fair play.
iron armored
You're
units
keeping the
before
energy
for the Horus
high.
Heresy.
You
These
keep
ones
going for it.
are very much in scale with the newer Beaky models that we saw more recently.
Shogun,
But the
best
key thing
reveal
with
I've
this
seen in
unit
the
is
last few years. I
all of
can't
the
wait to paint the
weapons
scouts.
interchangeable
You and me
all the
both,
new
buddy.
models.
I was saying earlier,
So,
I have like,
it's
I
a
think it's
tactical
45,
squad,
50
but you can
scouts,
very,
maybe
very
60.
easily add in other weapons and other kits
I'm
to
looking
make
forward
you,
to adding more and
do
replacing
lots
my
of
old
different
metal
bits where
ones.
you can give flamers and
Oh, look, a
guns
bits kit.
and multi-bolters and all the different things
Yes.
you want to do with it. And obviously, there's a few options in the kit already.
Um,
kind of power fists and plasma pistols. And
Yeah, man. The jump pack intercessors, they were really cool. I'm looking forward to.
I won't lie, the back banner caught my eye.
You like your back banner?
I like my back banners.
30
It's
of
really
them
nice to see
plus
different,
30 assault
versions
intercessors,
of,
which I obviously
of the armor
have.
as well. Because of course, some
Um,
legions in particular were quite used to having this armor. So the Iron Warriors on the left-hand side were famous for having lots of.
The Ultramarine looks really nice there.
That kind of scheme.
Blood Angel does
Particularly
too.
lends itself well to those legions which are famous for being kind of durable or
Hmm.
rugged or kind of taking the punches quite well. So
Plastic
Iron
Solar
Warriors, of
Auxilia,
course,
Plastic Solar
very
Auxilia,
good for
Plastic
Death
Solar
Guard,
Auxilia.
Imperial Fists, Salamanders, that
Vulcan,
sort of thing. Any of
my
those
Forge Father.
very
If
kind
Plastic
of,
Solar Auxilia happens,
rough and tumble legions, I suppose.
I'm in. I'm into Horus
I suppose you
Heresy.
can paint
Yeah.
it blue if you want.
I will be there.
That's fine.
There we go.
And I will not be
what about
square.
next?
Yeah,
So
that's not the only new thing on its way for the Horus Heresy. Let's have a look
That's
at the
not
next
the only
video.
new thing. What have we got? A Deradeo. Oh, it's been a long time, my friend. I know some people don't like Deradeos. I think they look fantastic. Ah, that's sick. Are those casualties I see before me?
A brand new plastic Dorito Dreadnought fills out the last of the three famous kind of Horus Heresy
Dorito?
Dreadnought styles alongside the Contemptor
You missed
and the
a couple
Leviathan.
of.
Nick,
You
what
missed
do
an
we know
E
about
there,
this
my
unit?
friend.
Dreadnought Dreadnought is, of course, the absolute best in your gun platform dreadnoughts. This thing is loaded with weapons all over it, and this particular model is the plastic.
It's
kit, is
nice.
The Anvilus
Yeah, I'm here
configuration.
for you.
It comes with
I'm here. I'm into it.
Missile launchers on its back, has twin heavy bolters in its chest, which you can swap
Is it
out
enough
for
to
flames if
tempt
you
me
want
into
to.
heresy,
And of
though?
course, it's
That's the
carrying
question,
huge
and I don't know if it is.
cannon batteries on its arms, which this model can actually swap out for the.
Because
plasma
Space
cannon
Marines
as
is
well,
as
which
Space
you can see
Marines
here as
do,
well. So
you know.
there's loads of
Oh, that's
different
nice.
weapon
That's a
options
nice paint
for
job
the
right there.
kit to absolutely blow
Dorito
your opponents
Dreadnought.
away from range. And the Dreadnought's super tough as well, so he's not easy to get rid of. This thing is a sort
That's
of
what
like
a gun platform is
your
supposed to
Warhammer
look like.
gun
Yeah,
line,
100%.
One model.
Yeah, it's just like a one-man gun line,
Absolutely
basically.
right,
So,
yeah.
like a walking turret to put right in the middle of your army. You can use it for any of your legions. It also has Legends rules for use in Warhammer 40,000 as well, if you wanted to use it.
What
yeah,
flavour
it's
is
just a
that
really
Dreadnought?
cool
Chili
model.
Heatwave?
We have
Yeah.
seen this model before in resin, but the
Heresy
plastic
is so
obviously makes it
redundant.
much more accessible, easy to build,
Yeah.
easy to pose, easy to
I
kind of
think
add
if
multiple
something
to
like
all that
Plastic
stuff.
Solar Auxilia happens,
This model
then
and
Heresy
the,
becomes more
Space Marine
interesting.
unit we just saw will be coming individually. They'll also be coming in
Nice.
a Legionnaires Astartes battle group. So we've got a shot to show
32
you all the things that are
miniatures.
coming in that set, which is I think 30. I think I'm right in saying 30 Space Marines, a new
Spartan.
Land Raider, and one
Oh, a
of the
Land
new
Raider.
plastic dreadnoughts. You'll also note that there's some special weapon sprues in this as well. So if you see the troopers
Okay.
back there, you can see
That's
some
pretty
Harlequins
cool.
and some Volkite.
That's a good way of getting started
you can
in
see how easily
Heresy.
the kits can be interchanged.
As long as it's not like a timed
You
release
get
thing.
almost enough special weapons if you wanted to give almost everything in that box.
That's cool. It's a super good box actually if you're just
That is a
starting
good
out
box.
force, isn't it? Rather than sort of or even adding on to a force to get the new stuff in there as well.
Yeah, so if you bought the Age of Darkness box last year, then adding this will give
Look
you
here,
pretty
get a
much,
Kratos tank and do a
all the
tutorial on it
3,000
without an
points
airbrush. I need
Horus
help with
Heresy,
my
which is
two.
pretty cool.
What colour do you need
Good
it,
to
Look
go.
here?
If you
Blood
yet
Angels?
to kind of dip your toe into Horus Heresy and are looking for a good way to start, this is a really good place to start, particularly if you're going to lean into one of those.
It is a nice
regions
place to
where
start. It's
iron
also a good
armor
place
is
to
their
just
kind of
expand
go-to,
on from
plate.
perfect.
Your
It
box?
would certainly suit like an Iron
Horus
Warrior
Heresy
Swordsman
box?
with a big gunline dreadnought and all the Mark III plate all over the place.
A way to
You
get
can
tactical
use it
marines for
any, but
40k
there's
only.
certain legions
100%.
that, just
And a
don't
Land
have any
Raider.
armor, right?
There we go. That does look quite tempting as well. I've not painted any Ultramarines for Horus Heresy yet. I might have to start.
It's only a matter of time. Mate.
It
It's
really
only
is.
a matter of time. Cool. All right. So
Another video?
there's some Horus Heresy there. We're going to jump back to the Mortal Realms now and have a look at something else.
Underworld. Warcry. Warcry. Hey, yo. This one. This is a. It's IKEA. Detolf. Give me my Pokemon vampires, you cowards. Hey, yo. Oh, we've seen these guys. And they are called. I can tell you this now. They are called. I should know it off by heart. Find out in a minute. They're called the Wilder Core Hunters. This book is sick, by the way. Hunter and Hunted.
So Hunter and Hunted, a new box on the way for Warcry, and we've seen some brand new miniatures in there, and even some new unit types as well, which is pretty cool. Tell us about those, man.
Yeah, so this is a new set for Warcry. All of the miniatures in this can
That-
also be used in Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
that
And this is
terrain
basically
piece there
a,
is sick.
battle set between the Cities of Sigmar Hunters and Ogre Gorgers, which are a unit we haven't really seen for a very long time. So this is a little bit different from some of the Warcry sets we've seen in the past, where it tended to get 2 warbands, but you also got loads and loads of terrain. So the assumption is at this point that if you've been collecting Warcry for 2 or 3 years at this point, you probably have lots and lots of boards, and you don't need loads more terrain. So in this set, you get 1 really cool piece of terrain, and then 2 warbands. So there's lots of stuff you can immediately use, basically.
I like that.
The Gorgers are
Ogre
5
more
man,
tribes.
5 ogre units, and they
You
are
know what?
a really
As-
cool glow up on a
as-
classic.
As
ogre
somebody
type.
who
These
is
are ogres, which
one of the
basically
very
suffer from
few people who
extreme
does ogre
hunger. So
tutorials.
ogres, normally you associate them with like very big, rotund, angry monsters, but
Gorge
they
and
kind of have
Warpack.
full bellies and
I'll
are
do
very
'em.
proud of their guts. This is the worst
I
thing
like
that could possibly
them.
happen to an ogre as far as they're concerned, which is they haven't
Will
got
you be
full
doing any
guts,
content for
and
Legions
they are
Imperialis?
they are
I
unable
will
to
do content for it
satiate
when
the
it comes
hunger
out,
inside
if
themselves.
that's
They
what
kind of
people
become
want.
these
When I
pariah
first asked the
servant
question,
ogres
not
that
many people were
skulk
into
around
it,
the edges of the
but I
camp
will do
and feed off the
content for it if that's what
offerings,
people want.
and they kind of throw away scraps and stuff.
Could add some
And
chaos
occasionally
symbols and
wander
use it as
around
40k
to
terrain,
sell
at least that is the
and
idea in my head.
disinformation because
Fair
the
enough,
ogres
mate.
don't like being around them because they think they might be a bit
No
infectious. They
meat
don't want to be
trees?
hungry
I'm
trees,
in.
That's the worst thing that could possibly
That's the
happen.
worst.
The absolute worst.
They're so bestial in their nature as well. Sort of like the mind's completely overtaken by just the hunt for food. Nothing else matters anymore. And they're just amazing miniatures. You mentioned the fact that we haven't seen one of these for a long time. We had that sort of a couple of miniatures in Metal and Finecast
See, these are-
many moons ago.
these are
with
nice.
Georgia, but now
I
we have
like
a whole
'em.
Plastic
I'm into it.
unit of them.
Good evening,
which
Nutshell.
are used in Warcry and AOS as well.
And there's some nods there to the classic one. So that one bottom left there is very
I
similar.
have so much
to
terrain for
one of the
Warcry, it
Gorgers
has its
that
own
we saw in
separate
Metal.
shame drawer.
These are much more detailed plastic. There's
I need to do a
options in
pile of
there as well,
AOS
so there's ways
terrain.
to build
I want to do a
things
bunch of
that are
AOS battle
cool.
reports on the
Um,
channel. I've got enough armies to
just-
do
it's
it
a really
now.
cool unit. They
Um,
are a Warcry
Stormcast,
warband in their own right, they can
Seraphon,
also be
Slaves
added
of
into,
Darkness,
Ogre forces,
Cities of Sigmar,
and they
Soulblight
are
Gravelords
also in
will
this
be
box,
having
you've got that
soon.
more
Um,
which is really cool.
Oh, look at these.
So you got the Wilder Corpse Hunters. So we have seen this unit before.
Wilder
so we're not going to
Corpse.
dwell on these guys for
Okay,
ages, but
Wilder
they
Corps.
come in that box as well.
Legion
and
content, please.
The Wilder Corpse are those in the cities. of Sigmar
If you guys
who
want
are
it,
over
I
the
will.
wilderness
I will
and
do it.
in the cities, and they go
Um,
out to kind of cull the local monsters and
How's the
try and
sleeplessness
find
doing for you,
trails and things
Brits?
for the rest
It's
of the
quarter to
base
3
to find their new settlement.
here.
And as the chat is pointing out, there are quite a lot of doggos in this box.
And obviously, the
obviously.
star of the box is that it comes with 4 great doggos.
5 great doggos.
5
as
great
well.
doggos.
I know,
There's one on
right?
the
Five
cover.
of the
Exactly,
best,
it's a
five
double
of the
heavy box, and
goodest
these are
boys.
wonderful miniatures. In Warcry, they're all about standing back and shooting with their big crossbows and letting the enemy close in. They've even got a special reaction that lets them escape from combat should anyone get too close. And of course, they can be used in Warhammer Age of Sigmar as well. We've already seen them rules from the Cities of Sigmar.
I said if
They're
I could
expert trackers and
if the
can
channel
survive on the
if the
battlefield
channel
and
was at the
stealth
point
and
where
military
like
as well. They're just
I had
beautiful
say
miniatures and a wonderful little painting project.
100 subscribers, 100,000
And this is
subscribers.
the more pits, so this is the piece of terrain you get in that set
man,
as
that's
well.
really
So
nice.
this can either be added into your Warcry battles.
It's a really nice
or
bit of terrain,
You can
that.
add this as a swap out the.
It's like an AOS
the cauldron
Sarlacc
that
pit.
you might normally have an ogre army and a
If
Sigmar
I was
and have
hitting
this
at
instead, what it
100,000
basically represents is a great
100,000
gullet,
subs
in
and
your realm, and
my
the ogres,
videos
believe that this is a manifestation of their deity.
could
Whether that
sustain
is true or
income
not,
without
what they do is
40k,
they take some of their
we would
victims
probably
from
do
their
a lot
raids
less
and
40k
throw
and
kind
we
of
would throw
choice
ourselves
offerings
into Age
into
of
this pit.
Sigmar.
If you're
And that's one of the
captured
things
by
I said
ogres,
earlier is like
you
if
will
we
either
had
be eaten by ogres or thrown into this pit, and I'm not sure which is worse, to be honest.
if we
Or-
had
or a bit of
many
both.
members,
The gorges revere this as there's like
I'd be able to
a bit of
hire
their
someone
mind
to
that is
take
still
some
able
of
to
the
comprehend
time-intensive
these
stuff
kind of
away,
sacred
so we'd be able to do a
places.
lot of
So
like
just about
AOS
enough
battle
wherewithal
reports,
to kind of drag a
old
few
world battle reports,
sacrifices to throw them in.
It's wholly terrifying.
how to play,
Pretty-
tactics,
pretty
list
like
building, all
adding
that
horror
kind of
into
thing.
one, to a truly
Because it's the
horrifying
type of thing that's
nature.
the
It's
type of
when you,
content
like,
that's really
imagine what might be
cerebral and it takes a bit of
underneath,
time
right?
to
Like,
make.
how far down does it go? What's actually
and
under there?
what
That's
is
the
it?
terrifying
Yeah,
Rather
yeah,
than
yeah,
make
it's
the
just
video,
amazing
it's easier
stuff.
to make other
There we
videos,
go.
as it were.
I just
Um,
around the great box set for Warcry just keeps knocking out the park every time we see a box.
It's very cool. Yeah, the Warcry is
Uh,
incredible miniatures. I think
and it would be
it's
something that I would love to
Also
do.
nice, and of course, that you get
But
those
it's just a
block
case of
loads
time and money, and we'll get there eventually one day.
Build entire armies based around them. Good stuff.
Right. Speaking
What next?
of hungry, we'll see what we got
I am
next.
quite hungry actually. But what's next?
You wanted vampires. Vampire Blood Bowl team. Very nice.
The new vampires for Blood Bowl, a classic team for Blood Bowl, of course,
There
but
you
with a
go, Kian.
reimagining with a sort of real classic horror vibe going
the
on for that team. They're
Drakfang
just fantastic miniatures.
Thirsters.
Yeah, so we've seen a few undead warbands, undead teams for Blood Bowl, and these take a very different angle. They've got a kind of romance horror sort of vibe to them. So you can see a mix there of vampires, which are obviously
Those are
very
sick.
capable. They're all the things you want a Blood Bowl player to be. They're fast and tough and killy.
Those-
and you've got
those
the
are
thralls in there as well,
see-
which are
see
basically
now-
the
now-
walking pack lunches for the
Now I have the two teams that
Even
I want.
covered in bandages and plasters where they've been bitten all over the place.
Vampire
in their
Blood Bowl
big free
team.
shirts.
Amazons.
The actual team in terms of the game have changed quite a little bit.
We could
they
do
still,
Blood Bowl battle reports.
Sometimes feed upon the
Please
thralls
do
in the middle
consider
of the game,
becoming a
if
member at
they roll badly on their
youtube.com/warhipster.
bloodlust rolls. But there's actually some new positionals as well. They've got a thrower for the first time, which is so cool to have a vampire with a pass skill. And also in the team, blitzers, which we had before, which we can see here. They've got the juggernaut skill and they're pretty good. But also we've got runners in the team as well for the first time. They're movement 8. They're so fast and driving all over the place.
They're like skinks that kill you.
Literally skinks that kill you, yeah. Terrifying players. You pay the gold coins for them, of course, but they're
8
great.
is
So a really nice
quite
reimagining of
substantial
the
in
team.
Blood Bowl.
Wonderful new miniatures, and I love that harking back to, it's the classic horror, isn't it? That is just could be straight out of a novel.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
I'm
lots
into
of
This will
as
really
we've seen
help
with Blood
me as
Bowl,
well
the,
for my
miniatures designers have taken the opportunity to add some
Castlevania
people in there as well.
Soulblight
so
army.
lots of the kind of peripheral bits you get in there, like
I might get a couple of
tokens and
boxes
the
of
turn
these, you
counters
know.
and things. There's lots of bats
Do a little
doing
bit of
various things
converting.
in coffins and hanging
I don't
upside
normally
down.
do it, but
and being
do a little
generally
bit of
mischievous. So
converting.
it's a really fun team.
I'm all about the plasters everyone's wearing. It's just like hints they've been bitten all over the place. That's just fantastic.
Poofy shirts as well.
Michael
Poofy
Shaw,
shirts.
please do
Bring it
Blood
back.
Bowl.
There we go.
This has me the most
on the way,
excited so
for
far.
Blood Bowl very, very soon, and can't wait for them.
Yeah. And then we've got some other board game news for you as well.
Okay, what we got?
Oh. Underworlds. Death Gorge. Oh, hello. Slaneshi. Hello. Ideneth. You guys want more Ideneth videos? There's a video in the future. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a nice looking box. That's a nice looking box.
A brand new series for Warhammer
Look at that
Underworld.
look on
Death
Nick's
Gorge.
face.
Nick, what do we know about this
I'm
box?
so excited.
He
Well, Death
loves
Gorge takes
Underworlds.
the action to Antdor, where the General's Handbook of Warhammer Age of Sigmar has it. The whole place has been frozen over by the Everwinter. There's a frozen wasteland, and we've got a whole new season of Underworlds with really cool miniatures, loads of cool little rules
Death
tweaks as well all
Gorge.
over the place.
like
but
it.
I know what everyone's saying in the chat. There's a squid, Eddie, and in that warband, which is just the coolest thing. We'll come to that in a moment.
There's a
Of course,
squid.
We know it's there. The whole season's changed. There's a few rules tweaks here that make the life better for players. A few little things to make life clearer as well. You can
Okay.
add the plunder rule gets changed, for example, if you play
Because
the
I've
world.
played.
But the big news of the season are the two new warbands in there: Sirens Razors.
I think I've played like sort of 10 games
and the Thrice
roughly of
Fold
Warhammer
Discord,
Underworlds.
who
And
are
it's a
smashing
really
units.
fun game.
So let's talk about the Slanesh warband first. So this is some quite
one of
interesting
those-
takes on the Slaneshi vibe. What do we know about these guys?
So,
It's
yeah,
one of those
right,
types of
they're,
games
they are
where
absolutely- they're
I think I would,
reminiscent
if I
of
could,
the sort of,
if I could commit the
exhaust that
time and
shows
the
leader is
cerebral
Vexor,
resources to
Vexor,
it,
the
it would be
accessible
what I would go
intelligence
to events to
there,
play.
Who's the laziest demonet ever and actually thrives off the laziness. In fact,
Because
he's
it
so
is-
lazy,
it's a
he fails
really
to
good
understand
competitive
takes less
game.
damage in combat.
That
Really
it's
cool.
the
We've
it's
got,
the
Lassiter,
best
the
competitive
Bladed
game that
Blessing
they
on the
make,
right, and
100%.
Bashes the Coiled on the left. They all
It's
hate
a lot
each
of
other.
fun. It's very
In fact,
fast,
they get better in the game
very
if
kind of
one them have one
personalised.
skills, which is great. They're really cool
These
warbands.
three miniatures are
Quite tanky,
gorgeous.
and quite aggro as well. So get them involved into a fight. They're just really cool models to paint up. And
I think of it like it is a coffee table game,
and
and you can take it like really deep. You can do a lot with it, and you can do very little with it. You can play it at a super competitive level, but you can also play it quite casually.
They're both bad choices, but you've got a choice to make. And they've also got some upgrades called.
I always hear great things about the organised tournaments of Underworlds. It's always really exciting.
Just cool, right?
Because it combines
Proper
deck
Slaneshi.
building with
And
there's
of
the
course, other
squid.
warband facing off against them. There
It's
are
not
other
the
Forget
Nicholas.
about the rest of the
Yeah, yeah.
fighters because I think everybody wants to know about this guy. So I assume the warband leader here.
Let's be honest, probably. No, actually not. This is Cephalir, the cephalopod.
They always get one, don't they?
He's
I
just
don't know.
absolutely
We had the
monstrous.
crab.
He's huge as well. It doesn't really quite show you how big this model is, but he's monstrous in the game as well. And you'll be happy to know he's got a special
Rivals
rule
is the
in
best thing
where
they ever
he
did
gets
for it. No
attacked.
deck building,
He
just
can
shuffle
put
and
ink
play.
in your
Oh, I
face
like
and
it. I like
which is
it.
just the coolest image I can think of.
So it does come with some other models as
Of
well.
course, yeah.
So this is an Ideneth warband.
Cyreni's Razors.
Obviously got a magic user in there as well and a couple of fighters. So this looks like a fairly flexible warband that can do a bit of everything.
They're really
Yeah, they are
pretty
a
as
flex
well.
aggro warband and go for objectives as well. You've got the battle mage in the centre, who is the leader, Serenity the Abyss, and the two the Marty either side, who are just good.
You can
warriors
hear it
who
in
just
them.
dish out the attacks. They're a really good, fun aggro warband to go.
You
and
can
smash
hear it
people's
in
faces.
the
So yeah, the
presenters.
Slaneshi
Nick
one is
comes
more about sort
alive
of
when
like,
Underworld is on.
and controlling what they do and manipulating. These guys just run forward and smash your face in, and they're very good at it too. So both really good fun to get involved in. And there's a squid, so we can't really
Can't go wrong.
can't go
you?
wrong with
Can't
that.
go
No,
wrong.
it's absolutely brilliant.
I mean, it wouldn't have been my first choice to invade an icy chasm, but you know, that's just fine. You know, they've gone with squid. That's fine.
Of course, the box comes with 4 decks of cards for One Underworlds. On the
4
top
decks of
got
cards.
2 Rivals decks, which go with those 2 warbands, and the bottom as well 2 Universal Rivals decks, which any warband can use: Breakneck Slaughter and Force of Frost. Breakneck Slaughter, as you would imagine, is all our aggro and smashing people's faces in, and Force of Frost is about a bit more board control. So yeah, they're useful for any.
When I hear about you
player.
guys saying you don't
want
have
to paint
anyone
a
to play
squad
with,
or, some
it
lazy,
makes me want
demonettes,
to
then you absolutely can
carry
get this
out
box and
my-
still use it for any warband.
So I have
in
this.
the
I have
game
this
as well, so
dream.
it's a
I
must-have
have this
for any
dream
Underworlds player.
where
It's also worth
I
saying this is
spend-
a really good box to start playing.
I
Warhammer
spend
Underworld,
a
so
couple
any
of
the
months
season
on the
sets,
road,
basically give you a
and I
board,
just
2 warbands,
come
all
to
the
you,
cards
your
need.
guys'
So
hometowns,
this is
and
a
we just play
self-contained
Warhammer and
so
paint
just by
together,
buying this set,
and that's just what we do.
without adding anything else to it, you have a complete gaming experience.
And I just go
But
all
obviously
over
you
the
just get
globe
into
doing
Warhammer
that.
Underworlds if you want.
It's crucially the place to get hold of the latest edition of the rules as
It's
well.
my
which
dream
is,
to do that one day.
It's the ultimate competitive miniatures games. It's always worth keeping up with the latest set of rules. So Death Gorge is a must-have if you're playing together.
I think it would be
Get
the
sense of how
ultimate.
big the
I think it would be
squid
the
is,
ultimate
on that particular
conclusion of
one.
a
Like, I
wonderful
think You can
community.
imagine it being like a little cricket,
experience,
but actually it's quite
I think,
considerably larger
for me.
than most of the other fighters it's up against.
If you play Warhammer Underworlds, he's got 4 wounds, which is about the size of a Stormcast Eternal. He's big.
Which is just
So,
where I'm just like, hey, where you
Very
at?
cool. I cannot wait to get hold of that box. I'm a big fan of Underworlds. There we go. We've got
Cool.
more.
All right. Well, we've had some
Exactly, a
stuff in
global
Warped
tour.
Realms. We're going to hop over now to the old world and have a look at a new.
Old world. Here we go. Everyone, shut up.
What an absolutely stunning miniature on the way for the Bretonnians for the old world. That is Lady Elise Duchard, special character of the Bretonnians, riding a unicorn into battle, and just has to be one of the most beautiful miniatures I've ever seen come from Games Workshop. What do you think, man?
It's really, really beautiful. Like, I think we're so used to seeing Warhammer miniatures that are like covered in skulls and bedecked in kind of gothic features that actually, this is just a really beautiful model. It's like a really handsome horse. Like a beautiful pose, a great miniature, a very different sort of thing to paint. So this is going to look spectacular and really stand out in the middle of a Bretonnian army. If you imagine everything else is like vivid, bright primary colours and galloping horses and shining lances, and then you've got this kind of single radiant point of light right in the middle, as you'd expect, representing the Lady of the Lake and the chalice of the Grail itself.
Just absolutely stunning. Just the sculpt of the unicorn itself is beautiful. Look at its face; it's just so much character and energy in there.
My cash.
And the purity
Do
and
with
lines
it
all over
what
the
you
miniature.
will.
I genuinely am in love, and I suppose that's probably kind of what the sculptor's trying to get across. The sort of the absolute sort of pinnacle of purity for the Bretonnian forces.
It's
Yeah. Well, certainly of the damsels in the Bretonnian
Yes.
forces. So the Bretonnians are on all.
It's so different to
nobility
everything
chivalry,
else they
perhaps, but
make.
They certainly represent it more than most factions do in Warhammer. Some really nice nods on this miniature to some classic models. So if you've been playing Warhammer Fantasy before, you'll remember the Fey Enchantress miniature, and there's lots of kind of nods to some of those early incarnations of the Fey Enchantress. So the unicorn, obviously.
I
some
love
of
it
the
so
kind of,
much.
the hair and the heraldry.
It's too
and the,
handsome.
aesthetic touches on this unicorn. It's kind of wrapped in, rather than like armor or anything, it's actually harnessed with the power of nature, rather than kind of anything else.
They always go.
kind of
This is
nodding
going to be
towards
the biggest
magical power of the
reveal
damsels.
Even
set
the
of
reins
reveals
around the
ever.
unicorn's neck are sort of
And then it
garlanded
never
with
is.
thorns and
And they
branches.
haven't done that this
It
time.
really pays off
And
that.
this is the
it's
biggest
nice to
set
see
of
as well,
reveals they've
go up
ever
from
done.
the right-hand screen across sort of the Fey Enchantress 3 years to come to Lady Elise.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
every single time those miniatures came out, I was like, that's one of the best miniatures that exists. And
Yeah.
there's just something about Bretonnian damsels on unicorns.
Look
that
at
just
the
seems to
hem
bring out
of
the
the
best
dress.
the sculpting team every single time.
That lovely
Really
soft
amazing.
Absolutely
thing.
stunning stuff, and yeah, can't wait to paint that one up. Chats in the people in the chat asking, Eddie, what's that being made out of?
So that is a resin miniature. So
It's
I
resin.
think in your head, if you imagine this is being approached in a similar way to something like the Primarch series we had for
Okay.
the Horus Heresy. So there will be like a range of very, very detailed, very
I'll forgive it,
specialist
Eddie.
resin miniatures that are kind of leaning into the detail. There will also be new plastic miniatures for the old world and lots of returning kits as well. So you have a good mix of things to play with.
There we go. It's a little teaser on more stuff to come in the future. If the quality is like that, for
Don't
the
tell
old
me
world,
that's
we've got
it,
some amazing stuff to look
please.
forward to.
Do indeed.
Give me more.
Wow.
We have one last thing
One last
to
thing.
show the folks, and I think this might be the showstopper miniature. We've had some pretty impressive miniatures so far in this preview. We've had the new Trog, we've had the Bretonnian
One
Damsel,
last
obviously,
thing,
new
guys.
Dreadnoughts. There's some new Space Marines. Some people like Space Marines.
Clonk and a squid.
Clonk, of course. But this miniature might be the best of all of them, and maybe the best miniature of the year.
You reckon?
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll let you decide for yourselves
Here
as
we
we
go.
have a look at our last preview. Raph, do you want to roll film?
Come on now. No, come on. Are you serious? Guys.
So, Fulgrim Transfigured, a new character miniature for the Horus Heresy series. Absolutely incredible model. This is the second of the Primarchs that we've seen kind of released in the wake of their ascension through the powers of chaos.
It makes sense.
And an absolutely jaw-dropping miniature. Nick, what do you want to say about
It's
it?
just absolutely stunning.
I thought this was the
Just
40k
look.
version.
I mean, Fulgrim is the personification of perfection, and the miniature reflects that perfectly. It's just absolutely stunning. Everything you would have wanted from this model, exactly how you imagine him when he
come on
ascends
now.
to Demonhood. Like just more stuff
it's
to keep
Ancient
looking
Rhino.
at all over the place, like the little faces in the cloaks, or the beautiful scales on the snake part, the sting at the end of the tail, the forearms, the wings, the beautiful face. It's been rendered absolutely incredibly by the Forge World sculptors, and yeah, it's what a centerpiece for a minute.
Cameron, if you're
Yeah, lots
watching
of
this,
nods, in
would
this
you rather
miniature
I do
to
the
some
old
of
one
the Horus
or
Heresy
this
artwork
one?
we've seen of this model, or of this character as he's ascended. This is Fulgrim during the Horus Heresy, just
Up to
after
you,
he's
bud.
been kind of ascended to Demonhood, just before the events of the Siege of Terror sort of thing. Lots of you, I'm sure, would like to see him appear in Warhammer 40,000. Maybe he will one day, but until that time, you've got this beautiful model to use in your Horus
I
Heresy.
genuinely.
And again, this is a resin miniature, Eddie?
It is a resin miniature,
Yeah.
yes. So much like Horus Ascended, it's the same
I
sort of.
genuinely,
vibe.
for a minute there, I thought it was going to be the
A character
40k
that's kind of
version. I
been
was like,
reborn as they
grow up.
journeyed through
Come on
the
now,
events
grow
of the
up.
Horus Heresy.
Grow up.
We might see more Primarchs meet a similar fate as well as the series goes on. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful addition to anybody who's got a Horus Heresy.
Frosty
Traitorous
paints.
Force.
Yes.
Absolutely stunning and huge as well. I've been lucky enough to see it in person, and it's just absolutely.
It looks
Just an
enormous.
absolute centerpiece model as well. You've
So-
got to get this in your force.
So the character himself is kind of swollen with power. Obviously, he's got more arms. He's got snake body. The body of the Primarch himself is a little bigger than some of the.
Again,
his
you'll
brothers
never
now,
transport
but
that.
That added with the kind of extra
That's
scale
never
of the snake
going
body
anywhere.
and the wings makes him tower over pretty much anything short of a knight in Horus Heresy games.
It's a must-have and a certain painting project as well. If you play Horus Heresy,
You're
What
never
a way to
taking
finish
that
a-
to a
that's been-
game, ever.
That's quite the finisher. That one.
Yeah, it's been a cool preview. Nick, have you got any particular highlights?
I mean-
Obviously, you're a big Ultramarine fan. Has anything stolen the limelight?
We
for you?
saw Ultramarines at the start. I was quite happy with those Ultramarines. Later
Okay.
on. That was good. But for me,
Um,
I'm a huge Warhammer World fan.
guys.
Can't wait for Death Gorge. Miniatures in that are
What do you think?
cool. How about you, man? What's your highlight?
So, I mean, there's some great stuff in there. I am a big Destruction fan for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, so I'm excited about Trug the Trogger King. I think he might be my most exciting thing. So, I mean, it's all good.
The one I wasn't expecting at all was I need to get hold of that Lady Elise Shard.
Well, it's just too soon, Andrew. It's too soon for another 40k Primarch. Because that would herald the coming of the Emperor's Children as an army as well.
Thank you ever so much for joining us, guys. If you were also with us at the Nova Open itself, thank you for joining us there. This has been the Warhammer Preview Online.
That last reveal was a stab in the back.
A big thanks to Notley, who's been
Yeah, spiteful.
who's been making sure all the videos play. And Nick, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's been a really great.
Iron Jaws won it for me, to be honest. Yeah, I wish there was more Old World. I also wish there was more Old World. Right, we should head to this website and we'll see if it's all... No, they've not done a blog on it yet. Yeah. There we go. It's an insulting end. Why is it an insulting end? I don't understand. Old World's coming out in 2024. I think it's closer than that. I think it's end of this year. I suspect it'll be around Christmas. It'll be when it comes out. Yeah, we've got everything. I think everything's up. Space Marines, Trug the Troggoth King, an avalanche of Iron Jaws. Hyping up Old World way more. I think it's one of those things where it's going to take a little while for all of the Old World content to... Have we got View All News? Where is it? Where's View All News? Articles, All News. Oh, I haven't uploaded all of it yet. Yeah, we haven't seen Assault Terminators. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Assault Terminators. it makes me question whether they'll even be a thing. I'm sure they will. It might be that they happen when the what's it called happens. The Dark Angels Codex happens. That might be when it actually goes live. JJ, thank you very much for the 5. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you. Do you know what? As a thank you for everybody joining me tonight, I want to go onto my channel, go here, and I want to, there we go. I want to do this. Boom. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me whilst I did this. Gifting 20 members. So 20 of you should receive a membership. If you haven't, make sure you do join the Discord. So you can come and chat Warhammer, and you come and chat all about your exciting new reveals, and all that good stuff. Because then you can be part of the Warhipster community for a month. It's my gift unto you, the chat. Sorry if you didn't get one. Andrew Draper, thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very kind of you. It does also put me, selfishly, to... there we go, nearly. There we go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this. Do make sure you come and join the Discord. Those of you who have got a membership, and talk all things new Warhammer. Really exciting time to be a Warhammer fan across any of the game systems, I think. Fortunately, we didn't get to see any Necromunda or Kill Team today, but we did get to see 40k, Age of Sigmar, Underworlds, Warcry, and of course the Horus Heresy. All membership is good membership, Andrew. Just thank you very much for becoming even a baby member. Yeah, I might hang out for another sort of 5 minutes or so. I wish there was a couple more old world things. They keep drip feeding it to us. I think they're really building the excitement here, but it will get to the point where I will lose patience, and then I will demand and do a tutorial for an Eisenhorn model. Look here. Look here. He's on my desk. Mr. Eisenhorn. So it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I promise. There will be Iron Jaws tutorials. I guarantee you. One model is pretty weak for the old world reveals. Yeah. Like I said, I'm desperate for all things old world. I want a bunch of old world content. I want it now. I want all of the videos. I want all of the models. I want everything. I want to know how it plays. I want to know all that stuff. I desperately want it in my life. I have to wait. And I don't like waiting. I'm an impatient man. I nearly got mad waiting for cities, and it did come. It was an incredible old world model. It was 100%. But I really enjoyed that preview. I really enjoyed that preview. I'd have been happy with a CG trainer, honestly. I think that is coming. I just don't know when it'll be. Will the models fit inside their bases, or will they be hard to form up? They've said, I think they've spoken about that in terms of like the science of what they've gone through to get that, and they've done a lot of work on that, so it should work. I really hope Old World is this year. It should be, and if it's not this year, it will be January, February, and I'll be mad. I will not wait past March before I lose my mind. We have to be patient. We have to be patient. Because this was mad. This was a mad preview. Can't wait to rewatch this stream/preview from the start once you finish up for tonight, Josh. Yeah, no, we will finish up very, very shortly. Yeah, that was great. That was great. It's going to be in summer next year. See, I think that's going to be AOS 4. I don't think they'll do AOS 4 and Old World that close to each other. Because there's a potential that you'll just kill AOS. Like that it will confuse people too much, I think. So it's either going to be Christmas this year or Christmas next year, or I don't know. We cannot predict the future, sadly. I can predict the future up to 3 weeks because of the things I get early, sometimes 4 weeks, but it's not that. I can't scry that far ahead. Does GW have a stock? Yes, it does. It's public traded. Its stock price should be pretty high. It's been having a good year so far in the financials. At least that's what the half-year annual report told us. I want more time. Bring it back. Well, I think more time is a possibility once Old World is here. I don't think it's a possibility before that. That's why I think Battlefleet Gothic is a possibility as well. Once Legions Imperialis is out. Do we know if Old World will get a Kislev range? I'm pretty certain it will. They've talked about and they've shown a lot of I think they've confirmed it will. I think they have. But yeah. I think Old World will be. I think Old World will be a success. I worry that it won't be new person friendly at all, but then it's not a game that you would expect to be catered to for new players because of the way it used to play. I suspect it will be closer to the way it used to play than it is to any of their newer games, much like Horus Heresy is closer to the way the games used to be, 40k used to be, than it is to their newer games. But I don't want it to be a simple version of Old World. I want it to be a smoother version of Warhammer Fantasy Battles, but I don't want it to be, I don't want more. I don't want mortal wounds, for example. What my hair is doing. This strand of hair has just decided to go weird. Alari, I think you made the right choice there. Yeah, that's what I mean. A to the 40k homeboy. I hope they just clean it up. They fix movement mechanics. You've seen that Pegasus Knight leak recently? I haven't. I don't believe in leaks. Until they are shared by Warhammer community, they are not real. It's just how I roll. But we are going to conclude it there, as unless anybody has any final thoughts and questions, because it's 3:15 and I have a living city tutorial that I have to finish because I've got to paint something else tomorrow. I have to hit pause on the Cities of Sigmar for a little while. Only for about a week and a half. We've got some other stuff that we need to do. So there you have it. But yeah, I will. When will we meet next time? Next week. I'll be back streaming at the usual time. I really like streaming. I've been really enjoying it as well. Because it's good fun. I love talking to you guys. You guys are great. Best community in the world. Hands down. The Warhipster community. Every creator says that. Every creator will say, hey, my community is the best. But no, I genuinely... I'm right here. I'm telling you. If you're part of the Warhipster community, you're part of the best community in the world. I shall say hi to Alice. Will you paint new Blood Bowl? Yes, I will paint the new vampires. Promise. Next week is Tale. Yes, Tale of Many Warhipsters Season 2, Episode 2 is next week, guys. And today is the deadline. So, yeah. We're going to bounce.